Hello, and welcome to episode 55 of Missed Mando, Ontario's source for the latest in the disc golf world. I'm your host, Robbie Holden, joined, as always, by my friend and co-host, Shawnee G. Sean Galbraith. Sean, how you doing? What you been up to since our last episode? It feels like we're maybe getting out of winter now, we'll see, but disc golf's coming soon.
My sweet summer child. You are forgetting this is false spring. We still have two other levels of winter to come. I'm doing great, Robert, and I've done nothing the last couple weeks. It's been freezing. It's been snowy. Done nothing, doing nothing, and loving it. How about you?
Yeah, I've been nothing disc golf related. It's been a lot of Olympics watching. Little special Olympic-esque interview that we're bringing today with Canadian Olympic figure skater Trennt Michaud coming up in a bit. So obviously watched those events. Watched, of course, the hockey. I'm not even going to dive into that. I'm still so heartbroken over both of those games. But I'm a big Olympics fan. Whenever it's on, I try and watch every event. Lots of cool sports that you don't get to watch all the time. Anybody that is following me on social media knows that I love the short track speed skating. It is electric to watch, especially some of the shorter distances when it's like you get a lap and a half. That's it. And it's just all out skating the entire time. Somebody, I can't remember if it was short track or long track. I think it was short track. There was a crash and somebody took a skate blade directly to the eyeball, it looked like, which was gnarly. So always something cool to watch with the Olympics, and then some good TV stuff going on as well, which we talked about in one of the most recent episode intros. But I'll reiterate in saying that I can't recommend highly enough to anybody to watch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It is fully out now, so if you're one of those people that like to wait for a TV show to be done so that you can binge them all at once and not have to wait another week for a new episode, you can do that now with A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. All 6 episodes are out, and my goodness, mwah, chef's kiss, fantastic show. But other than that, haven't been doing anything at all. But disc golf's coming soon. There are tournaments that I'm signed up for that are coming up shortly. We got local tournaments coming up in the next couple of weeks, and the Disc Golf Pro Tour is starting this weekend. If you're listening to this episode when it's released, the tournament starts tomorrow on Friday, the Supreme Flight Open down in Florida. So disc golf season is back. It is back, baby. But we've got a fun show ahead. We'll talk a little bit about the Supreme Flight Open, and go over all of the local registration stuff, of course, like we always do. But first, we are going to send it over to our feature interview for this episode. And we are very, very excited to welcome Canadian Olympic figure skater and disc golfer Trennt Michaud, good friend of us here on the pod. And we just had a great conversation with him. Can officially say we have had an Olympian as a guest on this show. Sentences that just keep getting crazier and crazier the longer we do this podcast. But let's throw things over to Trennt right now for a great, great interview. We'll be right back here on Missed Mando. Our next guest joined the PDGA in 2021 and quickly became a familiar face in the MA1 field across Ontario with multiple top 10 finishes, including 3rd place at the 2024 Christie Lake Spring Fling, where he lost to eventual champion, some guy named Robbie Holden, who we don't know. Matchy on the discs. Love it, love it. That clearly set off a fire within him, though, as later that year, he won the Paris Memorial in MPO, and in 2025, he won the King's Forest Open and Bronte and the Beast in MA1, while raising his player rating to a career-high 974. You might also recognize him as Homelander from Vought on Ice, though he hasn't reprised his role since a mysterious accident during rehearsals led to multiple fatalities and show cancellations. Really weird there. Oh, and you may have seen him recently in a little competition called the Olympics, where he and his partner Leah Pereira represented Canada in pairs figure skating, securing an impressive 8th place finish in their Olympic debut. It's a pleasure to welcome to the Missed Mando podcast, or today the Missed Sow Cow podcast from Brantford, Ontario, Trennt Michaud. Trent,
Hey,
thank you so much for joining, man.
thanks, boys. How's it going?
It is going great. We've had a lot of fun over the last couple weeks watching the Olympics, especially watching you over at the Olympics. We'll get into a little bit of, disc golf related contents at the Olympics eventually. And with new guests, we usually start by taking things back to when you discovered disc golf, and we'll get into that too. But let's start with the sport that took you all the way to the Olympics. When did you originally start figure skating, and when did you think this would be, a career taking you to the Olympics?
So it's I started playing hockey as every kid does in Canada for the most part. I was in a Timbits program. Kid. Yeah, I was in a Timbits program, and I actually got kicked out of the Timbits program. So I was a terrible skater, and if someone took the puck from me, I would throw my stick at them, punch, kick, trip, everything under the sun. I probably still have the most penalty minutes as a Timbits player. So at the end of my first season, I was probably like 7 or 8 at the time. They had told my mom and my grandparents that I needed to learn how to skate before I could come back and, participate properly and not be a danger to other kids. And so my grandparents immediately put me into the can skate program at the Quinny Figure Skating Club. Started doing that was with planning on going back to hockey. Ended up trying figure skating around 9 years old, just watching a boy in the end of the year carnival, and kind of tried it and ended up falling in love with it. And then now I'm at the Olympics. Well, it was just at the Olympics. So it's a pretty wild that it's just, a little small thing to change.
Absolutely love that. So was there much of a local skating program for like figure skating where you grew up?
Yeah, so there's pretty much, I would say most towns across Canada have a can skate program, which is any can skate affiliated any Skate Canada affiliated club will run a can skate program. It's the Learn to Skate program that is done countrywide. It's has certain levels and certain things and expectations that every club is to uphold. So that way we're getting across Canada the right basics being taught, the right instruction being taught. So you're not, just going into some local club and getting taught something that Skate Canada doesn't agree with or doesn't, help promote skating, not to be to be competitive, but just to promote skating for people for the rest of their lives. So yeah, there was a community there. The hockey community was bigger than the skating community still. I was the only boy, for years and years and years. But yeah, no, there was a big enough of a program that I ended up obviously excelling to the provincial level at first and the national level at first before I decided to move to my now coach, Allison Perkis.
When you were starting out with the figure skating, were you mostly thinking singles skating, or did you want to do pairs fairly early on? Like, when did you transition from sort of singles to pairs?
So I started quote unquote figure skating, actually wearing figure skates and everything when I was around 10 years old. And I think I was about 12 when my coach, Lisa Conley, had asked me if I wanted to try pair skating. Never seen it before. Went home that night and got on the computer and watched Jamie. I just went into YouTube, and YouTube was brand new at the time, pretty much. And just Google, I just put in pairs figure skating, and one of the first performance that popped up was Jamie Salé and David Pelletier from the 2002 Salt Lake Olympics. And immediately there, I knew I wanted to be a pair skater just from watching that performance. So it was really cool. Yeah. But I to be a good pair skater, you need to be a good single skater. So I did singles. I went to my first nationals I went to was for singles, actually, not pair. So from 2012 to 13, 15, 16. Those I went to those as for singles, and then from 13, 15, 16, 17 continue on for pairs. So I was top 10 in Canada in junior men at one point. So still took it to a very competitive level, but always knew I wanted to be a pair skater, and I was doing it to help me become a better pair skater.
I love the fact that being such a terrible skater in hockey early on set you off on this journey to eventually make it to the Olympics, specifically for skating. I think is just some lovely bit of irony there. But as a pair skater, you wouldn't be able to have success without your partner, obviously.
Right.
And you and Leah have been exceptional together. When did that partnership first come about? How do you even find a pair? And once you do, is that the only person that you skate with typically?
So it when to find another partner, typically it's through coaches. Like coaches will reach out to other coaches, and it's kind of more in, I would say, in that sense. There's the odd time that like you as a skater will reach out to another skater, but for the most part, it's coaches going through their own channels. Makes it's more professional that way, obviously, as well. So it's Leah and I started skating. My past partner Evelyn decided to retire from skating and go to school full time in the summer of 2022. And right away, Allison had asked me if I wanted to continue skating or not, and I said, "Yep, I still want to go. I haven't done enough with the sport yet. There's much more left in the tank." And she had immediately thought of Leah, and her and Nancy. So one of our other coaches, Nancy Lemaire, Leah's singles coach and coach from when she really started skating, actually. They're good colleagues, and Allie had taught Leah novice pair before back in 2017-18 season. So she'd already done a little bit of it. And then that partner had actually gone on to Disney on Ice and stuff, and she just wanted to continue with her singles career at the time anyways. And so she reached out to Nancy, and right away we had a conversation with a meeting with the four of us. And yeah, so that's the only person I tried out with. I didn't try out with anybody else. Leah was the only one kind of in our minds at the time. So, which isn't necessarily always the case. There's normally a lot of cases where you try out with a few different people and just try to, I mean, for us living an hour apart, or like with Milton and Brantford, and deciding to split up the training, not overly hard. You know, you get into conversations of moving across the country or countries. That's when it gets harder. So luckily, it was almost next door where Leah was, and so it made it a lot easier.
When you started training together, what was home base?
Both. We kind of, it's been 50-50 kind of the whole time, which has been really nice. You know, just, it's also good because we compete at different rinks. It puts us in different situations, and it's also not as repetitive today. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, it's been pretty well 50-50, and it just also depends because Brantford has tournaments all the time. Sometimes Milton is also same thing. It's busy. It's a fairly large community now, so they also have tournaments and everything. So it works out because normally we at least have ice at either place when we need it. So
when you first so I guess team up with a pairs partner, how was that sort of initially when you're first starting to get to know each other on the ice, and how you skate together, and sort of what moves or whatever you can do, building a routine? How does all of that sort of work out?
I mean, that's a really good question. I think everyone's story of that is different. I was pretty lucky right away. For Leah had some basic knowledge, and that Allie had also taught her what she knew in pairs, so it made it a lot easier because she remembered some of those things. Like it had been 4.5 years since the last time she had done pair, but there was still like the basic things that she had done before, so that was much easier. And Allison already also knew Leah pretty well, and through Nancy, like how to coach her well, you know, because that's part of anything where being coached. Sometimes, you know, communication is different of like how they learn things. So I think that really helped their situation out quickly as well. And I'd already been an established pair skater for a very long time. So I think that my base made it easier for Leah to be able to, you know, just try, okay, into this position sort of thing, because like she says, and I hope I'm not putting words in her mouth, but that she's never had to worry about any of those like trying things with me, because she knew I was, you know, knew what I was doing. So I was able to, new lifts, something like that. She wasn't worried about, oh, is he know what he's doing or is he going to, drop me? It's never really been the case. So I think that also led to it for us to be able to hit our stage quicker that we wanted to. And just some great coaching between Allison and Nancy of like pushing the needle, but not pushing it too much, because sometimes that can happen a lot. We didn't do throw triples and stuff right away, even though Leah was a great jumper. We developed over time, it would be the same if you can't throw 500 feet in one day. You need to be able to learn the basics and be able to repeat them over and over and over and over again. You can't putt from 50 feet. You have to putt from 5 feet and make that work, and then you slowly move back. So, so I think that made it a big difference for us as well. But like I said, it all depends on the people and the situations. It's all not the same, because you might get a guy who's more experienced or a girl that's more experienced, or both so experienced that they don't know anything different than their previous partners. So it takes longer to get used to. I had to get used to things. Evelyn was taller than Leah. I had to get used to, bending more in certain positions, not bending as much just for certain things. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun work.
One thing I can definitely relate to is not being able to putt from 50 feet.
I mean, depends on the day.
Or 5 feet, for that matter.
We've all had those.
I was about to say, relating it back to disc golf on a disc golf podcast. This guy is a real pro, ladies and gentlemen, knows what he's doing. And yeah, it's something about figure skating that I find, so fascinating. It is the different size of skaters. And I think I had heard them talk about it, even watching the Olympics on the broadcast, somebody who as a pair haven't been together as long, and, you're learning how to throw somebody differently just based on something as little as just a small fraction in size difference. How long have you and Leah been a pair together now, and how long would you say it took to kind of work out that those initial kinks before it just kind of felt more like, all right, we're truly a team now, we're on the same page, and this is something special?
So yeah, we've only been skating together for 3.5 years now. Like, we started in late August, really September of 2022. So which is pretty crazy that, within the quad, we were able to become national champions and be top 8 at the Olympics. I think on it, there was a lot of things that clicked right away. Luckily it's just one of those things that there were some things we just didn't really have to work hard on, and it was just kind of natural to us, which I think makes part of our partnership so great. And it still took like a month or two, I would say. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It feels like yesterday we started skating together, but also not at the same time. Like it's crazy to think like this time 4 years ago, I was in a completely different situation. And with Leah and I weren't even skating together yet. Like, it wasn't even a conversation yet. Excuse me. So it's hard to say when it clicked. We competed our first competition at the first week of November of 2022. And like I said, we really started actually skating together in September. So, and like we competed with a triple twist and like just throw doubles but side by side triple jumps and all 3 like level 4 lifts and everything. So it came together pretty quickly. Definitely, like by worlds, we were doing 2 throw triples and triple twists, and we were 6th in the world at the time. So it very fast curve, but we're still on that upward curve as well, which is really cool. And I think that's what, is special about making it to this Olympics, was like obviously for our trajectory, but that we're still going up and up. And you can see that at the Olympics, which is really cool, and just excited to take this experience and to keep pushing that trajectory for us.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I know much about figure skating, but I learned a lot at the Olympics. It's one of those sports that, I watch every 4 years when the Olympics is on. I don't really know anything about it in between. But this year specifically, I learned a lot more about it, obviously, knowing you and watching you, rooting for Team Canada as a whole as well, rooting for everybody that was skating with the Maple Leaf on. But I was incredibly impressed by your and Leah's performance. And from what I saw online, I wasn't the only one with that thought, even from people that actually know figure skating more than I do. Looking back now, after some time removed from competing, how do you assess your performance through the games?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to say going into the games, you're going to skate 3 really good skates, get 3 PBs, and a couple little mistakes, and you're still going to score pretty well. Why wouldn't you go, yeah, that sounds great. Like, heading into it, knew we were going to be part of the team event. We had built planned to just do the free program, and then Max and Deanna were supposed to do short. They had an injury not an injury, a skating accident right beforehand, and so we were let know before we left for the games that we would be doing the short, which was completely fine with us. We've competing well, like shorts well all season, so we were ready to go with that. And then it was really nice to be able to actually skate 4 times at the Olympics. Not many people get to skate at the Olympics, and then not many people get to skate 4 times in the same Olympics. So it was really awesome. Looking back, I'm really proud of what we did, and I'm just excited to take things from this to move forward, because there's definitely some things we would have liked to improve on 100%, but we finished 3 of those skates feeling really happy, and one of them just mediocre, not upset, but not fully fulfilled from it. But I would still take those moments with us, and that's just going to help prepare us for the next, heading into Worlds in 3 weeks in Prague, and then the next 4 years. And as much as as an athlete, you don't want to hear you need to learn these you need to have experiences to take you to where you want to be. Going into your first Olympics, you would love to win a medal and come home with it. We put ourselves in a third. We were third after the short, which is really huge. Our team did really well in the team event, which a lot of people didn't expect us to do as well as we did as a team. And we have a young team, which is really cool, because you could see a lot of those faces in the next 4 years at the Olympics. And we're all same thing, still hitting our stride and moving upwards. So, there's a lot of these experiences that you're like, I'm as a competitive person, an elite athlete, I would love to have, done a little bit better and maybe gotten a medal. But also at the same time, I know that this experience is going to help me be able to, take that into the next game, so I can come home maybe with 2 medals, one in the individual and the team. There's and the same with Worlds. Like, it's just a new fire and more experience that when you look at the past, everybody kind of has to go through to, take yourself to the next level in anything, not just skating, not just disc golf, like sports, business, all that. Need the experience. And, so I'm really excited about that. And I honestly had like probably the best 2.5, 3 weeks of my life. Like 10-year-old Trent it was so happy to be there and do everything and meet all the other athletes and talk with athletes. And one of the most fun things for me was just chilling in our Team Canada Athletes Lounge. We had 3 TVs, snacks, and recovery stuff. And the amount of cheering we did from those rooms and just hanging out and getting to know other athletes. So that was part of the reason I always wanted to be an Olympian, was becoming a part of Team Canada and sharing these moments with other athletes. And it's really cool. So, I mean, I could go on and on about how awesome my time was. So,
well, and we will have you do that. I think one of, like, as you were saying, you're talking about the off ice stuff. I think one of the coolest aspects that you get to experience is that camaraderie in the Olympic Village between you and the other members of Team Canada, and getting to meet all these elite athletes from all these elite sports from across the world in the Athletes Village. What were some highlights of things you got to do outside the competition?
Yeah,
in addition to, of course, throwing an Ultra Star through the rings.
Yeah, I mean,
that's got to be top notch.
I had been planning that for years, like really since I started disc golfing, that I wanted to throw a disc through the rings. So very happy that I got to do it with my Ultra Luna. I think one of the coolest parts, honestly, was walking by the rings every day. So like where our building, like where the Team Canada building was, I had to get to our meal hall. I had to walk right by those rings every day. And I think I took a selfie every single day with it, like just because I was like, this is cool. Like,
yeah,
like it's so cool walking by the Olympic rings and seeing other athletes doing the same thing. Like it's just you sometimes you forget so cool. that. Yeah, and sometimes you forget that like all these elite athletes were like, we try to be professional and all that, but we're also all little kids at heart too, just kind of like freaking out in the same way. So I think that like hanging out in the athletes lounge, we had probably the best gym I've ever been to. So that was super nice to have.
So cool.
Yeah. And our
You go
ring
along
setup
with
was
the best molten lava cake too, apparently, from what I was
it was
seeing on
pretty good.
Instagram.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Apparently that's not what they call it. I can't read Italian very well, but there was a bunch of comments saying something like that it was like called something else. So I apologize for not calling it. We all think it's lava cake. That's what it looks like to us. But we also, our rink setup was really nice. Like the arena that we were in, it felt homey. It felt like most of the arenas that we compete in. And it's kind of nice where some rinks, so like you guys have been to hockey games and stuff, like the stands go right down to the boards, right? And so this one, it's got a little bit of a raised one. So there's like space where we were like, you can walk and the fans really like there. It's a more of a security thing for some of these buildings or whatever. And it's really nice to have that because you have the judges right at slightly above like face level. And then you have to project a little bit higher because the fans aren't right there. So for us, we kind of like that because it's not like, oh, I just have to be on this bottom plane the whole time. You kind of unknowingly look up a little bit more. And I mean, seeing the rings everywhere, skating on the Olympic rings is super cool. Once again, we had like the biggest warm up area with like gym equipment and stuff that we've ever had. So I just like logistically a lot of what they did, especially, under, I think, like the time constraints that every Olympics goes through. It was pretty nice. Yeah, I don't have any complaints, honestly. Like, it's just so cool.
What was your favorite other sport that you got to watch?
So I got to go to short track, speed skating, and hockey. I was at the Czechia Team Canada game. So, I mean, that was probably the best hockey game I've ever seen in my life, dude. Like don't get me wrong. The Finland and Canada game was really good and exciting too, but Canada outplayed Finland like most of the time. Czechia, Canada were just their own and like completely playing their own kinds of hockey. So it was so cool to be there live. Like, I got a little bit nervous partway through, but also at the same time, I had faith in them. But like, it was just such well-rounded hockey on both parts. So like, that was really cool to be at. And the Czechia, it was probably 2/3 Canadians to like 75% Canadians in the building, and the Czechia fans were loud. Like, I was shocked by like how loud they were. So that was really cool to see. I was at the short track medal when they got the mixed team relay medal at the beginning of the games, which was really cool. Same thing. Seeing it live is so much different than seeing it in like on TV. Like the actual angles that they get to and the speed that they're coming around these corners and holding at is insane. So that was really cool because I also got to know quite a few of them really well. I hung out with them a lot. Will was one of the guys I really connected with at the games, which is cool. So yeah, it was different. Obviously, we were with the clusters. It was too far away to get to other clusters. So Milan to get to even Cortina was like 6 hours. So we just there was no time to get there, unfortunately. But it was, like I said, we were nonstop watching it in our athletes lounge. Like we always had everything going on. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say the Czech Canada game was probably the best. Like, it was so cool to be at. I got to a women's game as well. So I tried to get as much sports in as I could.
Canadian boy answering hockey to that question. I love it. I love it. And short track speed skating has got to be one of my favorite events from the Winter Olympics every year. I can't imagine being able to see it because it looks fast as hell on TV. I can't imagine how fast it looks when they're just whipping by right in front of you. So unfortunately, I would think I will have to see it live a different way than making the Olympic team for Canada. I don't think that's in my future, but seeing the short track speed skating, I might be able to make that happen at some point. But Trent, so How does getting selected to the Canadian Olympic team work? Does it come from winning nationals? I know you and Leah also won nationals as well leading up to the Olympics. Is it from I know there's like season points totals and stuff like that in figure skating. Like I said, I'm still very much a novice on figure skating, but doing my best to learn. And when you did officially, punch your ticket, what was that? What were those initial emotions and reactions for you and Leah?
So every country, it's a little bit different. The way Canada works, there is a selection criteria that is put out 2 years before the games. So the way that that you can actually go onto the website and click on it, and you can see exactly what the selection criteria is. Like, obviously, there's things about like age requirement, you have to be Canadian citizen, all that stuff. And then it gets into like how the selection committee works. So it is picked by a selection committee, and they take into consideration the body of work from the past 2 years. So this season that we're in currently and the season before. So from the season before, if you were a medalist at a championship event, Leah and I were third at Four Continents Championships last year. If you're a medalist at Worlds, how you did at Worlds, and then also how the season in this current season we're in is trending. So, it's sometimes nationals is the deciding factor, depending on the situations. Going into nationals, we were in a very good position. We wanted to skate well at nationals. One, because we go into every nationals trying to win. We didn't want to be Canadian champions heading into the Olympics, but also because we just wanted to skate well for ourselves as an event heading into the Olympics. We didn't need to peak at nationals, but we wanted to be on that way up for the games. So when it's funny when everybody asks, like, when you get named to the games and got the sweater, or like you got the phone call, that must have been like, the highlight moment. But it's interesting because after we skated the free and we were first after the free skate, and you can see me getting emotional and start crying. That really felt like the moment for me, because it was kind of like, okay, we've done everything. Like we're going to be on the team. Obviously skating well is also how you want to do it. But it feels like those 20 minutes between that, being in the media, and then finding out that we won while we're in the middle of like media interviews and stuff. All of that seems like it was like within 20 minutes, there was so much emotion and happiness that when we got it was like I'd not been burnt out, but it was like all of that initial like hit was done. So it was like, when we got the phone call or whatever, and then at the naming thing, it was like, yeah, this is where we're supposed to be. Like, it's still exciting, very happy to be there and grateful, but it was like, yeah, this is where we're supposed to be. So of course I'm here. Like, so, but yeah, beforehand, it was like, there was 20 minutes where it was like emotional wreckage of happiness.
Love that you show that emotion. As a crier myself, I love it. I'm just going to assume that you cry at everything just to make myself feel a little bit better.
Just for you, Sean.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Also, just quickly, Sean, yeah. I wanted to mention this earlier, but obviously, like, the goal of going to the Olympics is to win a medal in the sport that you're competing in, which wasn't the case this time around. See what the future holds, and there's some medals coming. But one thing you definitely are a gold medalist in is vibes. That was off the hands up in the air, fist pump, double fist pump, Trennt move that was seen throughout the games. Was just a highlight for me watching. I think the highlight for a lot of people. The screenshot that I saw a lot of people take when you and Leah saw your scores from the short program, and just mouth wide open, hands up in the air, loving life. So I think it's not a physical medal, but I think that there's definitely a medal to be taken home from the games for you. Gold medalist in vibes.
I try my best. I just be, that's one of the cool things. Just be who you are, and that's who you guys, Robbie. I'm I'm an exciting person when life is exciting. So why not show it?
Yeah, anybody that knows you, and I have been lucky enough to have played some rounds with you at tournaments. Anybody that knows you was not surprised by those reactions at all. That's just the Trennt Michaud way, and that's why we love you, buddy.
So, as we mentioned in the intro, you also played Homelander for the Vought on Ice episode of The Boys. How the hell did that come about? What was filming that like? Have you done other TV movie roles as a skater or as a disc golfer, whatever? And how common is it for figure skaters to take on sort of like related media projects or do like the sort of Stars on Ice kind of thing?
So I actually was a body double in a Netflix show before this, and it was called Spinning Out. It's still on Netflix. So I was the body double in that. So I was lucky enough that I had worked enough and gotten enough certificates on that I'm actually part of the ACTRA union. So I'm a union member of ACTRA, which is really helpful for a few different reasons, obviously. But so that's part of the reason why I got was contacted for the Bot on Ice role. And a lot of things with skating, they normally will reach out to some choreographer, and with the community being such a small community, it gets circulated really quickly of like what they're looking for and things that they need. So I was one of the lead candidates for the Homelander role, which was, I did both. Like Spinning Out, I thought was so cool. Netflix show, had quite a bit of money, really cool to be a part of. To start, ever since then, I've had such a bug with movies and shows and understanding like how they're filming things. Become a complete nerd about it, from the stunt side, from the camera side. Like there's just, it's so interesting once you start finding out how something works. And then when I got to this was like one of Amazon Prime's biggest shows that they've had, right? The first 3 seasons were massive hits. So it had money. Like it was crazy. And was so high up on the call sheet. Like the only people ahead of me were like I think I was 6th on the call sheet, but most of the days that I was in, I was number 1 on the call. Like that puts me like near the top. So it's like you get treated really well, which is really cool. And you get to see like how the world of acting works, and you understand why people would be in this world. Like you're working long days and projects sometimes, but it's so fun. The money is obviously quite well, especially depending on what roles and everything you're doing, but it's just a lot of fun. I was also really lucky that one of the ADs from Spinning Out was also my AD for this. So it was really cool. He actually remembered me and is like, had talked to me about my competitions and stuff since then in Worlds, and like all the Worlds that I've been to since then. So it was really cool to, same thing, connect small community. I mean, it was pretty cool, man. I was a superhero for a day, I was just a sparkly superhero, but it was pretty cool. And then being able to see them filming, like meeting Anthony and everything, like, and Jack, like it was really cool to be a part of that. I mean, I think in Spinning Out, I had that too, but this one, there's some big actors in it. I unfortunately didn't get to meet Carl Urban, but like there were some really big actors in this. So the production value of it was really cool. I didn't realize it until afterwards that the girl who plays Victoria Newman in the show, the pimple popper, is that what they called her, right? She was vice president at some point. She's in Call of Duty. She's one of the characters in Call of Duty, the voice and like the face stuff. So I was like, that's like,
I do not know that.
Yeah, it's from Call of Duty, like all the new ones. So she's in that. So it was like, there's just these like small things that made the experience even cooler than it already was. And then as like to your point for like Stars on Ice and stuff. So like there also just was another skating show that came out on Netflix called Finding Her Edge, and a lot of people I know also part of that. Pretty much anytime there is a skating show or TV thing, you're going to know somebody in it, because once again, the community is pretty small. Like my coach was actually in the original Cutting Edge. Like she's one of the body doubles. Like they had used a bunch of people for that. She's one of them in that. So yeah, it's very small world. So it ends up happening quite often. There's I'm hoping that I'll be in more roles, whether that's skating or non-skating. related, it's a fun world to be in. But for Stars on Ice, yeah, it's that's another way that people will go, where we've done quite well in our skating career so far. So we've been invited to be on Stars on Ice last year, and then we're back again on the tour again this year, which is also a dream come true. I remember going to Stars on Ice as a kid to watch Jamie and David and Bryce and Jessica, Kurt Browning. It's one of the biggest shows in the world for skating. So to be a part of that legacy is really, really cool. But one of the cool things about skating is there's a lot of opportunities for people who don't make it to the Olympics or don't make it to, the higher level of skating. There's lots of ice shows across the world. Disney on Ice is a big one that a lot of people go to. Cruise ships, Holiday on Ice. There's a bunch in Europe and stuff that people will be taken into and can continue to express their love of skating and be paid quite well for it. So I think, it's really cool that we have the same thing. You could also be picked into some of these skating shows. Marty is in Finding Your Edge. Actually, he's one of the background guys in there. So there's a couple funny ones of him just doing some exercises and we can't stop laughing at him. But yeah.
I'm going to check that out. Sorry, go ahead,
I was going to say, how much input did you have into the actual skating on Vought on Ice?
A decent amount. Like we had a choreographer for it and everything, and you kind of have to like follow what the plan is, but you're the one executing like certain things. They're asking you to do certain things. So like when, I'm doing my setup that I want to do into a triple toe and, the funny little things afterwards, like it's a kind of general idea that the choreographer has and you work with them. But for the most part, when you're doing those roles, you get quite a bit of say of like, okay, this is your idea. This is what I need to do to be able to, especially the first day of filming, man, when we did for that one, I think I did like 37 triple toes in a row. Like it was just like, and like it's TV, like you understand they have to do them over and over and over again because they need to make sure like they can't just reset this up in 6 months very easily. So they have to have like, they're they're getting the cameras right. They missed it. They didn't do it right. Like, so yeah, so when it's like stuff like that, it's like I remember someone telling me from Spinning Out that you have like for stuff like that, you need to know where your limit is, like, and tell them right away, like, I can only do X amount, or I've only got this many more in me. You need to figure out your camera situation before I try this again. And also at the same time being like, this is what I need to do to be able to do what you want me to do. So, once again, experience is helpful.
How much of the plot did you know when you were filming? Like, did you know that Homelander was going to, yeah, no spoilers, but what happened?
I knew the whole episode because I needed to, we had to see part of the script. I knew the script for the episode. So, I mean, like there was part of me that was like, damn, because I just been watching the show and I like, obviously you can put 2 and 2 together of shit that's happening in the first 2 episodes. Like shit, I really wanted to know what was going on, but at the same time, still super cool. And I was excited to see how it all come together. That's also one of the things, like, obviously we filmed the stuff and that's the first time I've been filming anything with like blood, like, prosthetics and extras. There's a lot of blood. Yeah. So it was cool to see how they did all of that. Like, once again, very interesting, like how they get the guy like neck to be like, that's not CGI. He has a pump that he holds on to. And like he just presses the button and it opens up the neck. Like it's like very like here, and then it just opens up and he's physically pumping out the blood. So it's cool to see. And then like obviously there are some CGI parts. Like I didn't actually cut her fingers off. Like
what?
I know, shock.
Oh, Hollywood's so fake.
Yeah. So yeah.
I was gonna say, I hope you don't get typecast into just a skater role, because your one line was nailed to such perfection. I can't remember if it was "what the fuck" or "oh fuck" or something along those lines.
Fuck. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Said with such perfection that I think any director should be looking at that and know that you have range, my friend, absolute range.
And a speaking role. You get more money for a speaking role. Well done.
So yeah, actually, because I was lip singing, I got more money. I got principal money for it because I was lip singing is considered a speaking role. So, and then I got to swear in it at the end, which is, I mean, it's It is what it is. It's kind of cool.
It's perfect. It's
It was
perfect.
perfect flex.
Pretty rad. I also I would assume that going into it, you were probably hoping to meet Carl Urban the most as a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah, honestly, I was really hoping that Jensen Ackles was going to be somehow tied back into the fourth season. I'm a massive Supernatural fan, and I think Jensen's one of my favorite actors. Like his actual style of acting and like the way he acts is phenomenal. He's also just like, he seems like the coolest dude ever. Like he actually is Dean Winchester, which is so sick. And he can sing too. And then he got to play this role where he was a badass and just did whatever the F he wanted. So I was really hoping to meet somehow through that would be to meet Jensen and Carl too, because Lord of the Rings. And like, I mean, Carl's been in everything. I think he's been in Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Star Trek. Like he's
got all of
it. Yeah. So
Marvel too.
Yeah. Like he's really been a part of it all. So that's a really, like, he's a legendary actor, obviously. So yeah, it was a little sad I didn't get to meet them, but you never know. Down the road, what'll happen.
I met him once at the airport.
Oh,
he missed his flight. He was not happy.
Yeah, that's fair. And his accent probably made it sound even funnier, though.
Yeah. Guys getting frustrated when they have accents just makes it immediately funnier.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Urban, Anthony Starr, both of them are prime examples of that. Before we move on off of some Olympic stuff and just kind of it brought up there with the Lord of the Rings talk, I just wanted to know, how excited were you to see Bilbo when you got home?
I can't move the camera right now, but he's sitting at my feet. He has literally not left my side. Normally, if I'm sitting at my desk doing schoolwork or playing video games, he's on my bed. But he hasn't done that once since we've been home. He's just, I feel really bad. It's the longest I've actually ever been away from him his entire life. So yeah.
Well, now he gets all the cuddles and all the love, everything that that good boy deserves. Oh, high hopes. What a good boy.
Yeah. Ready?
All right, Trent. Well, let's jump into your other sports passion, disc golf. Being a disc golf podcast, I think it's about time that we finally get into the topic. We've seen you bring discs to competitions around the world, throw a disc through the Olympic rings, like we already talked about. Get disc golf mentioned on a national Olympic broadcast, which went viral in the disc golf community, which is super awesome to see. But going back to the beginning, who or what originally got you introduced to the sport?
So, fellow competitor, now fellow Olympian, Team Canada Olympian. He's one of my coaches and one of my best friends. You guys know Mike Marinero very well. He was the originator of the disc golf for all the figure skaters over here. He started playing, I think, right before COVID happened. And we literally chirped the shit out of him for a year about it, honestly, like as people seem to do. And then the next thing you know, I went out once. I remember my first round was actually in August of 21 in Bronte. He took me to Bronte and I played once and was like, shit, this is cool. This is fun. Immediately kind of became addicted. I played, I think, my first actual like MA2 tournament with Mike, like a flex start, one of those back when the Dead Man Disc Tour was still happening. Like a VA Barry, I played my first tournament there in that September, and then did like the finale like between that and St. Julian. And then just I honestly went on a tear, got just as addicted, if not more than Mike. And I think he jokes around now that he's he doesn't make it seem that way, but it's been a long time since he beat me. So he just said to remember that he's the reason why we got into disc golf, now that there's a little bit more fame resulted with it. So thank you, Mikey. Wouldn't be here without you, buddy.
You said he's the one who got all of the figure skaters addicted. So has the addiction spread to the whole team now? Are you guys out playing rounds, when you're not on the ice together?
Well, so, I mean, the original, I would say that started from, obviously Mike was the first one, and then it got into me, Marty and Bryce, who we all live together. So, I mean, we play all the time together. But we've gotten a few of like Mike and I both have taken other skaters out. I've taken Leah out before. My coach Allison, we've taken Keegan Messing and Andrew Poge. Try to honestly get as many other guys as people out as we can. But yeah, I would say like just like figure skaters on main crew is the four of us probably.
When you first started and you first started throwing and you saw the good old flight of the disc, what was it about disc golf that really drew you to saying this is what I love?
Honestly, I think the thing that was really cool about it was that it took a lot more. I guess it not a lot more, but it is one of the harder things to do of body mechanics, and there's like for form wise and everything, and the fact that like it's like I was right away getting beat by people that were 60 years old, like it or a 12-year-old. Like I think that's one of the coolest parts about it. It's like ball golf in a way that any age can play it. But I also thought it was really cool that there was like, different types of discs and different types of flight and trying to throw it around stuff. And like at first, like, learning what anhyzer is, learning what hyzer flips were, throwing a different disc and it doing something different. Even at the time, like Mike throwing a disc and me throwing the same disc, seeing, differences of what it does because of arm speed or wobble and the fact that you can throw it forehand. Like I thought there was a lot more to it that was really cool. Like it's not just like a pick up a ball, throw it at a person sort of thing. Like there's so much more to it. And then it's just addicting to like nerd out on it and then want to get better at it. And I think right away, just me being competitive and Mike and I always being competitive with each other, it kind of helped that he was better than me because I wanted to beat him at it. So
always got to beat your buddies. It's also I can say, in defense of Mike a little bit, introducing somebody to the sport and them getting better than you is a demoralizing feeling. It's it definitely gets to you, especially when it's a good buddy. Introducing a stranger and them getting better, you can get by it a little bit, but when it's someone you know really well and they start beating you, it's rubbing salt in the wound a little bit. So I feel him on that one. Now, I've been fortunate enough to play with you in a few tournaments over the last couple of years, and have seen your skill level improve season after season, going from 920 rated at the start of 2023 to now 974 rated going into 2026. Figure skating is obviously your top sport, but as a competitive person, where do you see yourself getting to in disc golf? What are some goals, like short-term or long-term, that you've laid out for yourself in the sport?
yeah, I think short term, now fully switching into MPO, which is cool. I want to just become more consistent. I would love to, the goal is to be 1,000 rated for sure at some point. Whether or not that happens this year, as you guys know, as you start getting higher up in rating, it gets harder to keep pushing it up and up. So just more of that consistency. I think you can see through most of my tournaments, my consistency has gone up on ratings, and I would just like to continue to keep it consistent, whether that's just little bits at a time, or bigger jumps. But short-term goals is to have a consistent season at MPO and try to cash out at as many events as possible that I'm in this year. Long-term, I want to see where this goes. Post skating. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how far I could take this, even if it's just becomes. I love this sport. I think it's really cool. Like I said, you guys can see there's disc galore back there. There's so much more over here. You don't even want to see the basement setup. Like there's just so much stuff here. Yeah. And so I would like to be a great ambassador for the sport. At the end of the day, I think that is the biggest long-term goal. Whether that's in a content creation sort of piece from being an athlete from a different sport, the competitiveness in me wants to be, try to go as far as I can with that, which whether or not that means, getting to a pro tour event or just, pushing it as far as I can in our local disc golf scene and playing in the States and stuff. But yeah, no, I would love to be, competitive. And the exciting thing is I'm excited to be at some point, just a little over 10 years from now, be in the MPO 40, be competitive MP 40. I think that's a really cool thing about the sport also is that, you can still be a professional disc golfer at a high level and be complete, at different age brackets and everything. So, the competitive person in me is, take this as far as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, the real, like the other goal I have with disc golf is just to be a great spokesman for an ambassador for the sport and to hopefully draw more people into the sport, or even if it's not that, just to continue the, the love throughout this community.
Well, you're absolutely doing that for sure right now. So with the exception of your first event, you jumped into MA1 like pretty much right from the start. And then you won Kings Forest Open and Bronte and the Beast last year, like pretty major events. And then you've now jumped up to MPO, taking the big bucks, $78 across 2 tournaments last year. Absolutely flush with cash. Are you looking forward to putting your skills up against the best in the province now?
Yeah, for sure. I think, both of the events that I played in were small events. One was the River's Edge, like the Forest City Open. I think there was 12 of us. And then also Paris, there was only 8 of us. So, not, or maybe there was 12 there too. I can't remember. Smaller ones. But yeah, I mean, that was the reason I went to MA1 so quickly. Like right away, I played the MA2 and was like, okay, but I wanted to be better. And how do you get better? You compete against the best. So, we're very lucky to obviously have Oz here and local. So get to play with him as much as possible. And to be able to see, what an actual 1,000 rated disc golf player does, and like how to be that way, and seeing the similarities and differences, and a lot of it is knowledge. Once again, Oz has so much knowledge of wind and how things change, and obviously he's a consistent thrower and very consistent putter, which is huge. So just seeing those things, and I'm excited. I'm a competitive person. I feel like I always take a step up at tournaments just because it's a little bit more focused, a little more dialed in, and it's cool. Yeah.
Couldn't fully dial it in for that one, and had to take third place against this guy. Although realistically, I almost completely choked that one away. So I almost was not in a position to be bragging. But one follow-up question that just sort of popped up in my head here, I didn't have written down, but having such a athletic background in figure skating, how much do you think that helps advancing in disc golf? Obviously, learning angles and techniques and stuff like that, but just for like the raw physical aspect of it, how much do you think all that experience and like bracing and core strength and all that twisting, all that stuff that you do in figure skating, how much do you think that has played a role in your elevation in disc golf?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a huge part. I'm a very athletic person. Obviously, I was a multi-sport athlete kid growing up, and then skating is a very athletic sport as well. You have to have a lot of body awareness with it, with a lot of the things that we're doing. So that was a big thing to help, right away, just kind of, improve form, and from watching YouTube videos of other pros and just, kind of like that sort of knowledge, not really having like the, same knowledge I would from a coach from skating or anything like that, but just doing it our best on our own as a group. So I think that definitely helped a lot in being able to translate to that quickly, and also just having, some pure power and athleticism to kind of rip the disc forehand, backhand, with a little less form, the technique. But so it definitely helped me. And then actually about a year ago, I had reached out to Slingshot Disc Golf. So Coach T, who's also, his name is Trent. Funny, just Trent with one N. So we just call him Coach T. It's easier. So Coach T actually helped me, build my form to more what I wanted to have. And also being coached is what I'm used to kind of on a daily with skating. So it's a lot easier for, I can see the things, and we do a lot of that too, video review, and then, explaining, okay, this is what I'm feeling. I didn't realize it looked like that, or vice versa, it's doing this. Oh, I don't feel that. So, figuring that out is helpful for me and is just helping improve. Now my form looks better. Now it's just, same thing, sending videos and chatting about it every once in a while to keep improving it and things that I'm feeling. So, that's been a really big thing, but I think it is very helpful having such a body awareness from skating because it's such a body awareness sport and so specific on a lot of things that I'm able to have some quicker success than probably some people have had in getting into disc golf.
And I can attest to that for sure as somebody that, like I said, has been fortunate enough to play with you for a couple years now, taking down, I've flashed the trophy a bit. I'm going to forever live by the fact that I can say that I've beaten Olympian at something now. So thank you for making it to the Olympics just so I can say that. It really helps me out.
Yeah,
I know that was
Albie. I got you, brother.
Yeah. Of course. But seeing you progress to then when we played together at King's Forest Open and you had, was that your highest rated, I'm assuming it was your highest rated tournament. Was it also your highest rated rounds? Because you played exceptionally for both rounds that tournament.
Yeah, no, that was I think I shot a higher rated round, one higher rated round at Bronte and the Beast, but it was definitely like, to that point, yeah, definitely by far the highest. I hadn't shot 1,000 rated before, and then I did, and I think the second round was, I know one was, I can't remember if they were both over or not, but one was over and one was very close to being. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was nice. I mean, you guys know Kings is probably one of the nicest courses we had, and we got lucky that we had a really nice weather for that one. Actually, we had that little bit of rain, but we didn't have any snow. We were playing all in hoodies, like it was sick.
It was a great tournament, despite the we've talked on this show multiple times about the roller coasterness that I have within my game. I've told the story about my putting woes on cursed hole 8 at King's Forest, but was still a wicked round. And I will say that if I had to build a dream card of people that I've played with before, I think you would be on that, as somebody that, like me, is all about, you could be having a bad round, you wouldn't notice it at all. You're always out there having a good time. And that's my kind of people out there. That's how I like to be. That's how you are. So definitely would be on my dream card for sure. Just unfortunately now my chances of beating you are decreasing by the day as you continue to improve. But I love to see it. So just had to throw that in there. Now that we're done with the Olympics and that's in the rear view, will you have more time for disc golf? Any plans to go out to Alberta for nationals this year and try to add a disc golf national title to your resume to go along with figure skating national champion?
I would love to do that at some point. I'm not really right now. So we actually go to Prague in 3 weeks. I have been out almost every day since I've been home. I got home Thursday night, played Kings Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, didn't play Sunday. No, didn't play Sunday. Played Monday, played Tuesday. So didn't get out there today because we were back to training kind of. So, but I have also been throwing in my basement and putting in my basement. I actually have to get used to a new bag. I am signed up for Kings Open next week. And I have to get used to a new bag right now because I'm part of Team Discraft now. I actually got onto the underground team before I left for the Olympics. I just with our Rule 40 rules and everything that we have going into the Olympics, I wasn't allowed to post about it until now. So our blackout is now over. But yeah, so I'm part of Team Discraft Underground. So getting used to almost a whole new bag, mainly the drivers and some of the fairways, but which has been really fun. I mean, it's always fun getting new plastic, you guys know. But at some point, I would like to make it out to nationals. I haven't been able to yet. I did do provincials when it was in Brantford, which was super fun, and I would like to do that again sometime. But this season, once I get back, I'm going to be gone until pretty much end of May. And then I'm hoping after that to get out to as many tournaments as possible. I'm going to actually try to get down to a Pro Tour event. It was really sick that they posted my video and I messaged them about that. So I'm trying to get down to a Pro Tour event and I'm planning to go to Worlds. go watch Worlds. But tournament wise, I'm looking at maybe doing Blueberry Brawl. I would like to do a couple more like the full weekend sort of tournaments this year, just in the summer, which would be really fun because the last one I did for that was like the Hope Goat where it poured and poured and poured, and Mike and I stayed in the van. And as fun as that was, I would like to do it, hopefully in a nicer weather.
As somebody that goes to Blueberry Brawl every year, and absolutely loves that tournament, I cannot recommend that one highly enough. It is definitely already waitlisted if you haven't signed up already, but if that is one that you can get into, I can't recommend it enough. Definitely worth the trip out to Sudbury for that one.
So you almost like you read our show notes here. We were going to ask about Discraft because you're throwing the Ultra Luna at the Olympics. I think you've liked Discraft discs in the past. How did it come about jumping on the Team Underground? Did Bob Giulio reach out to you and be like, hey, we need to send you a fat stack of money so that, because you are throwing our disc on major coverage? Were you close personal friends with Bob now? How did that come about, and what discs are you liking from Discraft?
So actually right before Nationals, someone had Discrafter Paul had posted a video, like just on their story with Bob. And I clicked and I was like, oh, this is Bob. Cool. I'm going to like obviously from knowing disc golf, who Bob is. So I followed him on Instagram, just then he started replying to some of my stories and we just had chatted. And I was like, I had asked about him personally about like the Team Underground program because I've heard things before and like we were just chatting back and forth, and I do like quite a bit of Discraft stuff, and I think it's if I had to pick a company, it's one of my favorite disc golf companies. I think what they're doing for the sport, the way that they set up their team, I mean their tour team is unreal. Like and I just like a lot of their values as a company. So I'd asked about it, and then he said, yeah, actually, here's the link, and I'll let Wes know that you're applying. So, because Wes is the manager for the Team Underground, and had a conversation with Wes, had messaged me, on Instagram about, potentially have a conversation about this. Had a great conversation. I think we're on the phone for like a half hour, and just really great people to chat with. I mean, not surprising. This community is so easiest way is loving and caring of the sport and their people in it. So yeah, just it was part of that, and really excited. I had the Battle Pack Lunas, and I love throwing the Luna. It's one of my favorite throwers. So I had said pretty much I've been taking an Ultra Luna with me since I got one everywhere because it's a little bit easier for people to catch too. Like if I'm just like practice putting with somebody there because I'm bored, they can at least like throw it back to me, and I'm, it at least goes somewhere, and it's not like a frisbee. Then yeah, so disc wise, I mean the mids are all slotted so easily right away. Like I'd already been liking the Buzz SS as my like flippy guy. I between the Buzz Saw Buzz and just the regular ESP Buzz. Just kind of playing with them both. The Buzz OS was a great addition. Actually, I had never gotten one before. Really liking having that in the bag, especially with kinks. Like I don't throw mids too often there. It's a lot of literally jumps from drivers to putters. But the Buzz OS has been really nice, especially like some just like straight shot. No, it's going to fade a little bit at the end and you can just reef on it pretty hard, which is cool. I've always been a big fan of the Get Freaky zones. I have probably, I think 13 aces alone just with just with those, like, and
some black aces, which have been
and some black aces. Yeah. So I would say like those are like, some of the go-tos, and then just figuring out which drivers I like. And, right now I'm kind of floating between the Venom and the Forces, just figuring out, which ones win fighting, non-win fighting, tailwind, the whole thing, which ones I can forehand and backhand a little bit more. I also haven't been playing disc golf as much recently, kind of was in Milan, and then the weather's been really, snowy and icy. So just not risking it as much as normal for disc golf playing. So also making sure I know, okay, was that the disc or was that just me not throwing it well at all? Feeling a little bit better after a few days of being back and doing 10, 15 minutes of form work at night. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I mean, there's so many discs that they have too. Like it's not even like, it's, they have so many discs, and so many plastics and runs, which is, really cool. But yeah, just excited to, be on this adventure with Team Discraft and see where it goes from here. I think like I said, their values of a company of growing the sport has been shown, and their competitiveness. Like it's, twofold. Like their touring team is won how many events last year? Like different, like all of them pretty much. Anything Gannon didn't win was won by Discraft, and the women's side of things won how many? So, they purposely pick a smaller team too. And everybody who's on the Discraft team, which is really cool. And they make sure no one kind of gets lost in the weeds. So yeah, just excited to see what they do with that. I'm planning on getting, some sort of fun disc stamp to come out. So more in the works on that. We'll let you boys know about that when it comes out. But yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of Team Discraft. And I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of Team Discraft and disc golf if you're, yeah. So I'm grateful for it. It's pretty cool.
Were they pretty thrilled with the response of the video of you throwing the Ultra Luna through the rings?
I mean, Paul Macbeth messaged me about it, so that's pretty freaking cool.
What?
So, yeah. So I think so, yeah. But I mean, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of takes my next question, which was just going to be, we obviously saw that video get reposted a bunch. We saw the clip of Andy Petrillo bringing up your love for disc golf on the CBC broadcast, mentioning that you're rallying for disc golf to be a Olympic sport as well. Go for the dual Olympic athlete. So I was just going to ask, what's kind of the coolest response that you've gotten from the stuff going viral? But I don't know if anything can really top Paul Macbeth. So maybe outside of that, what's some of the other coolest reactions or people commenting, stuff like that you've seen through all that?
I mean, that one's one of the top ones. I think Disc Golf Pro Tour actually taking it and fully posting it. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I watch every Disc Golf Pro Tour event. It's pretty easy to say that that's a nice thing. I was really happy to see how much reach it was getting, both of those things. I didn't plan, obviously, the CBC Olympics one. So to see the messages coming in about that, post skate and once I got to my phone and everything was really, really cool. As athletes, we get a platform and, we all get to use it in our own way. And I'm glad to, bring more attention to disc golf. Like I said, I think it's a sport that, like skating, anyone can do at any age and for any sort of enjoyment, whether it's one round walking around here. I was talking to some of the speed skaters, some of the long track guys, and I was talking in the lounge at one point about I was explaining to someone else who Paul Macbeth was, because obviously I was excited that he'd followed me and I'd been talking to him. And I was like, he's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky of disc golf. Easiest way to describe him to another Canadian. And the one guy goes, "Oh, are you talking about Paul Macbeth?" I was like, "Yeah, how do you know him?" And he's like, "Oh, during COVID, we played their Calgary, so they played Baker all the time." And they said, never played any tournaments. They were just going out and doing something. And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet." He's like, "So he's actually followed you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, that's pretty freaking cool." I'm like, "I know, it's awesome." So yeah, just seeing, the outreach of that, and I hope it has a positive aspect on the sport, whether that's, it helps that fellow other athletes are talking about it. I know that there's a lot of plans in the work with Canada Disc Golf and trying to work on, making getting the proper channels going to become a funded sport and everything. So I'm really excited about that as well.
My favorite part of that moment with Andy on CBC was that it wasn't brought up by you at all.
No.
When Sean first sent the clip, I expected it because it starts with the end of your interview, you and Leah standing there. So I expected you to make some sort of disc golf comment, and then it cuts and without any prompting, just brought up disc golf in relation to you, just proving how much you just spread the love of disc golf to everybody around you. Exactly. Represent to the highest degree. So, just absolutely love it. And of course, so much of us back here at home in Ontario and Canada wide, we're loving to see that all of this was happening to one of our own, a Canadian athlete as well. Just best of both worlds.
So Trent, jump into the next
go ahead,
section. Sean. So I was over at my dad's house watching the Olympics, watching you and Leah skate, and the interview, mention of disc golf. I was like, what? Rewind, get my phone out and recording it from across the living room, put it up on social. It's been more than almost 4 hours of viewing of that one clip from all the people who have.
That's awesome.
Have watched
That's so sick.
Thing, almost 3,000 views on that. It might be our most popular thing, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, it was nice to see, even with my the clip of me throwing through the rings, my own channel getting over 100-something thousand views on it. Incredible. And then seeing, Disc Golf Pro Tour, I think Discraft posted, just seeing the amount of views that, is one of the cool things that it's really nice. And yeah, it was nice that I didn't even have to bring it up. I wasn't trying to shove it in people's face. They brought it up for me. It was nice.
I was listening to the Upshot podcast. They mentioned it. It's very cool.
They mentioned it. Hey, I did not rip it through the rings because I was scared of hitting the building behind it. And also, it says do not stand on the ring. So I was like, if I square this up pretty hard, I'm going to probably destroy my disc. And I don't
destroy the rings.
Don't destroy the rings.
That'd be
so
awkward.
We're going to go through a nice little just kind of long putt through it.
Yeah.
I love that there was a couple comments critiquing your double X step run up into it. Some people just can't help themselves with form critiques.
It's all good. It's all good. I did see one funny one that it was still takes less X steps than Paul Uleberry does.
Love it. Love it. I'm surprised nobody made some comment about getting a little extra push like a Canadian curler or something like that, because those jokes were going around like wildfire through the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of memes with Kennedy.
Yep. Well, Trent, we have had you for a while here. Thank you so much for all your time. It's awesome to get you on the podcast. But before we let you go, we'd like to hit you with a few lightning round questions that we ask all of our new guests. Just some quick answers, whatever comes to mind first, no pressure. And I got a real easy softball for you here to start it off. What's your favorite course?
That ain't easy, bro. Of course that I've ever played.
Of any that you've ever played.
Nevin Park.
Nice. Yeah.
Great choice.
Yeah. So I went to Charlotte. We went to Charlotte last year, Bryce and I, after Worlds in Boston for a week. We met
up to hang out with the another round guys.
Yeah, right? Yeah. We got to hang around with Joe, which was so sick, and throw some ace runs on Scrapyard, which was super cool. But Nevin, there's just something about it. It's so cool, and dude, it's insane how easy they make that course look. I shot under par there twice, and that was I played very well and got I threw in for an eagle on one hole. So it was crazy. Yeah, but definitely Nevin is really cool.
Playing a pro tour course, you definitely get a different appreciation for them and what they can do. I'm on staff at the MVP Open at Maple Hill.
Yeah.
And after the tournament was over on the Monday, me and some of the other volunteers went out to play around on the FPO layout. And I shot a +20 and lost 2 discs. And it's just They are so fucking good.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like Charlotte, like they talk about it, but like no wonder Paul, like Ulibarri, can throw a disc on hyzer that like he knows exactly how much flip and how much turn. You have to there. Like there's no room for error, and like they have to throw everything on angle because the gap gets so much smaller when you throw on angle. Like if you're throwing flat the whole time and just letting a drift happen, you're gonna hit a tree. So like I understand after playing there of like, oh wow, that's like why like they hit, like they throw everything on hyzer or everything on anhyzer. They don't flow flat shots hardly ever, especially in the woods. So I was like, the appreciation factor of that went up through the roof.
Germ's forehand touch is it's obvious where it comes from. Seeing the courses down in Charlotte,
yeah.
I've played in Florida a bunch, and playing some of the courses that Calvin, or his home courses, like, oh yeah, that makes sense why he can throw 500 feet, 8 feet off the ground.
rope.
You have to.
Yeah,
There's no ceiling. Yeah. It's cool.
So next question, and maybe the same answer. What is the hardest course you've ever played?
The hardest course I ever played was Angry Beaver in Charlotte, just outside Charlotte. We didn't get a birdie. I had one birdie look, and like, I mean, this is also like day 4 or 5 of playing so much disc golf and not of being like our arms are dead. But probably Angry Beaver. Like if I had to if it'd be easier to make a top 3, and it would be like Nevin, Angry Beaver, Hornet's Nest, and maybe sprinkle Emery Park in there. That's also one of my favorite courses to play. We have a boys trip there.
A long course.
It's a long course, but it's
like
fun.
11,000 foot from the gold.
Yeah, it's fun. We play the golds, and like it's. I think I've shot even there twice now, both years, and it's like, yeah. I mean, that's once again playing well and like everything, but like it's. Yeah, I would say Angry Beaver as once again, also probably because we were just so tired, but like it's Charlotte disc golf. Like it's hard. It's not easy.
When your body's not starting to not function properly after a couple days of disc golf, it's definitely going to make the round a little tougher to play.
Yeah,
noodle arm syndrome, which Sean just has all the time. Some other people you need to work up to it, but that's just 24/7 for Shawnee G. All right, next question for you, Trent. One sport to play other than disc golf or figure skating. We got to throw in a little extra with you here on the pod. You can't fall back on figure skating with this one either. One sport other than disc golf or figure skating to play or watch. What are you choosing?
I mean, first is probably going to be hockey. Like, let's be real. It's definitely hockey. I keep up with like I really do try to keep up with all the amateur sports. Being an amateur athlete, and they don't get as much watch time and praises as skating tends to get through the Olympics and everything and the other 4 years. So I try to watch as much amateur sports as I possibly can just to support my fellow teammates and everything. So, but hockey's hockey, man.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about hockey right now. Still coming off of that men's gold medal game.
We don't need to talk
and
about
the women's gold medal game,
both
both of them. But
no,
I am curious as a follow up on that. What's a like more niche sport that you watch that you think should get more attention than it does?
I mean, that's a really hard one. I think, there's almost every winter sport you don't really get to see coverage of. I mean, ski jumping gets a lot of coverage in Europe. They're very well sponsored from European countries. It's very big in Europe, so that's probably one of the bigger ones. Besides skating, but like I have friends downhill. Yeah, like I don't ever see that stuff. I see some of the snowboard cross and ski cross. I have a couple of good friends that are in that, so maybe that's why I see it more. But there's a lot of mountain sports, and it's hard. But I encourage as many people as possible to just try to watch it. CBC does put on as much as they can of it, but if I also had to pick one outside of that, it would be track. I love track. Track and field I went to OFSA in high school for track. It was just so much fun, so I love watching that one as well.
OFSA track athlete as well. What
I went to
this guy, dude? Jeez.
I went to OFSA for cross country and track and field, and I was grade 10 CASA champion in badminton.
Oh, heck yeah! I will agree with you and say that if there's a Winter Olympic sport that I wish was like more accessible and more watched, it's ski or snowboard cross.
Yeah,
It
so
is
cool.
so much fun to watch them race. Like,
Yeah.
Or a sport that I think should be in the Olympics is crashed ice.
Yeah, crashed ice. Yeah. That one's pretty wild. I
Would
want to
be
try that. I want to try one of those at some point. That'd be sick.
I can see you being
Yeah.
pretty well as a crashed ice athlete.
Yeah, that would be so much fun, I think.
Red Bull, hit them up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't tell your coaches.
That's post skating. I'll do it. It's fine. Yeah.
Trent, why are both of your arms broken? Oh, don't worry about it.
I don't know.
Let's go.
I woke up this
Time
way.
to throw. What is a song that makes you instantly turn the volume up to max, or a song that you would love to do a routine to, but you haven't had an opportunity? It may not be a good fit for the world of competitive skating.
Oh, dude, do you know how hard it is for us to pick music? Because I'm a music nerd.
It's hard-hitting journalism here on Miss Mando.
Yeah. Okay. If I'm gonna be real, for like one that I haven't skated to yet, that we definitely could still skate to. There's no issue. I'm a diehard La La Land fan. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the best. Like everything about it, the music. I would love to skate to La La Land at some point. I would say that. One that I turn up to max volume, dude. You should just look at my thousands and thousands of songs on my playlist right now. Lately, honestly, there's like a few collection of songs that has been like, that's my, like, what I just have on repeat when I'm getting ready to compete and stuff. And Dua Lipa's in that mix because she just has a hold on me, man. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a woman. Singing and everything. What a woman. And then so some of her songs, and then Bruno Mars's new song right now, I Just Might. It just makes me want to dance, which is cool. And the F1 movie had great music. So Bad As I Used to Be and Losing My Mind are kind of actually like two of my like main get locked in songs right now. So I could go on about music for same thing ever and ever. These rapid questions are not rapid, boys.
It's something that we've become. Calling it the lightning round is basically just a joke at this point on this podcast, because it never is lightning. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, F1 movie, underrated. So not a movie that you would think, oh, the soundtrack to this movie is going to be awesome. But yeah, it 100%.
And Hans times it to the literally to the exact combustion of the car, like. Yeah. Thinking about that, like there's so many cool things about that movie too. Once again, crazy.
Yeah, fantastic movie. Moving on to the next one now. What's your favorite place to stop for food on a road trip? You're driving along, you see a sign for food up in the distance. What sign are you open to see?
I mean, the stereotypical Canadian answer is probably Tim's, man. It's hard to beat an ice cap and a bagel. Like, it's pretty simple. Yeah, probably Tim's. I mean, everybody loves Don's every once in a while too, but you can't beat chicken nuggets.
If you see me at a tournament, there's a 99% chance that I stopped at Timmy's for a sausage farmer's wrap on the way there.
Yeah, no, I mean,
so good.
I'm a big, Tim's is pretty good. It's a pretty solid choice at all times. And one of the more healthier options as well if you pick the right things on the menu. So
at least relatively.
Say you can get pretty unhealthy there.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
I go the other end of that spectrum.
Yeah. That's fair.
What is a movie that never gets old no matter how many times you watch it?
Inception. Or La La Land. Ooh. Or oh man, this is don't do this. The Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, there's so many good ones, but Inception is one of my Inception and La La Land are like one of my top movies for once again, music, cinematography, the plot, the way that, Christopher Nolan wrote the whole concept of the movie is on one piece of paper, one large piece of paper, and he started with the dream world, and it was about like it's just so like that part is super interesting. Every time I watch it, I learn something new. Once again, Hans Zimmer, Time, Interstellar, also up there. Like it's still same thing. You learn something new every time you watch that movie, and La La Land, the cinematography in it and the color psychology that they use. Seb gets introduced in red, she gets introduced in blue. Then when they're together and things are happy, it's like purple. And then when they're not, all of a sudden it goes back to their separate colors again. Just so smart. Like, I mean, yeah.
I love that you are a legitimate film nerd.
Yeah.
It seems like the cinematography, the score, everything that goes into a movie, I can tell that you appreciate, which is something that I try to do with anything that I watch, TV and movies. So I really appreciate that.
I mean, I can talk. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, did your film nerd level increase or change after being on production sets like Homelander? With Homelander,
my level of it changed after Spinning Out. Honestly, like
okay,
I started becoming more of a. I always liked movies and everything. Like, I'm like that was one of the things as a kid. Like going to the movie theaters was so much fun, and still go now. But like we used to go like almost weekly or every other week because there's nothing to do back home. And Center Theater, I think at the time on Tuesdays was $4 a ticket. So like, and this was back like $6 Cineplex tickets still. So like just used to go to a lot of movies. But I think my level of like definitely changed from Spinning Out. I kind of already had the music bug because of skating. Like, so I just like enjoyed listening to the soundtracks and everything and the scores of music because we'd listen to a lot of it for skate, like trying to find program ideas and everything. But I mean, I've completely turned into a nerd when it comes to film, especially like I'm a 200% kind of person. It's 0 to 200%. So as soon as I like something, I'm like trying to find out everything about it. And, so it's just really interesting. Like, Harry Potter is one of my favorite films, like obviously like series growing up. And like one thing that I just recently learned was that there's a connection, there's the connection of like the Phoenix feathers and how like in their wands, both Voldemort and Harry both die just like in Phoenix and come back. And the Voldemort finally dies and is like, it doesn't come back once he's given up his Phoenix feather wand.
Layers, levels, man.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I also get onto on top of it, like the subplots and everything. I'm an avid reader. I have read 7 books this year already. So same thing. I nerd out on books and yeah.
Heck yeah. I was just about to ask something and now it totally just left my brain. That's unfortunate. It was probably something really good. It was probably something really good too. One thing I was going to say was I'm surprised I didn't hear a reference to Lord of the Rings with your dog named Bilbo laying at your feet.
Yep.
Right now. But
those are also movies that I could go on and on about. That's like, there's a reason why they're the most winning of all time of any movie series ever.
Yep. You're probably similar to me in loving like behind the scenes type stuffs from movies. And I was actually having this conversation with someone recently that like one of the things that I miss about DVDs and we don't get in this streaming age is having special features to be able to go in and see the making of and stuff like that. There were so many. I remember watching the making of A Night at the Museum when I was a kid and just being like blown away and getting sucked into how everything was made. And you don't get that anymore. That's a big loss.
Yeah, I still have some of like I have a bunch of DVDs downstairs and like one of them is like the old special edition sets of like Harry Potter 1 and 2. And like the same thing, the 4 discs in there, 2 for the movies, like for that part 1, part 2 of the movies, and then the special effect of that stuff, which is it is really sad that we've lost that. I think there are some streaming ones that they do. Like I think they did like the Netflix did The Witcher and Stranger Things and how they did that. But it's different. It is really cool to see. Like I remember those as a kid and like the games. Like just kind of in general too with them too, or like Shrek, like just the Brady Bunch Shrek play screen or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. The far away idol special feature in Shrek 2.
Yes.
Oh man, this is bringing some nostalgia back for me. I might have to try and see if I still have that DVD and bring it up. Well worth going back to. But Trent, we got one more lightning round question here, quote unquote lightning round question here for you, and it's the most important one. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Spider-Man, bro. I have a Spider-Man morph suit in my closet.
Yeah,
I'm not lying. Like I have a custom fit Spider-Man morph suit.
So you've been Homelander on ice. When's Spider-Man on ice coming?
Get it out there to the people. Come on. No, I don't even need to be Spider-Man on ice. Just make me Spider-Man. I'll do it. Come on. Bring me up, Tom.
This.
I can be a multiverse Tom Holland. Let's go.
I'm just glad you didn't say you wanted to be Homelander.
Doomsday.
No, I didn't want to. That one's a little dicey.
It's a bit of a problematic character.
Yeah.
A little bit. As somebody whose favorite superhero is Spider-Man, I 100% endorse this message. How excited are you for the Spider-Man movie that's coming out this year?
Dude, I'm really excited in the sense that it's a little bit more back to the comic book realm, which will be really cool to see. I'm really excited from the teaser that we've seen that it's like so comically book accurate for his suit and everything. And I'm also just interested to see because like now no other superhero in the Marvel universe right now has lost more than Spider-Man. And in the comic books, he is the one that loses the most and has the most humanity left within him. Like he's the only other person that can lift Mjolnir. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just, I hope they keep going the way that they're going with it. Cause it's really like, he's the best superhero in general. So I might be biased, but he also has like the best story of what humanity can be. So
I 100% agree. And I'll one little last follow up on that. Of the three main Spider-Man that have been played in movies, who is your favorite? Tobey, Andrew, or Tom Holland?
Tobey's my favorite Peter. Andrew's my favorite Spider-Man. Tom Holland is the best of both worlds.
This guy knows ball, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is a certified ball knower. That's the best description I've ever heard of that.
Toby is the most awkward Peter, which Peter is supposed to be awkward. Andrew is the best Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man
is so good.
Spider-Man is supposed to be kind of cool and, you know, like people look up to him as like children and stuff. And Tom is perfectly right in the middle. He's a little funny. He's not too funny. When he is funny, it's kind of awkward, but he's also a good Spider-Man. So, I mean, his is the most comically accurate of the bunch.
Getting a full Spider-Man breakdown on the Missed Mando podcast. This is what everybody comes in for. And, well, if not,
I think it's coming in for this because there might be a bunch of disc golfers that are like, "Oh shit, I don't want to hear about Spider-Man. I wanted to hear about disc golf."
Should have tuned into a different podcast for that. And even if people aren't here for that, it's what I'm here for. That's my true passion. Is nerding out over Spider-Man. But yeah, I got nothing more to add to that. I'm in heaven, Spider-Man heaven right now. Absolutely nailed the lightning round, quote unquote lightning round. But Trent, before we let you go, thank you so much for being so generous with all your time. It's great to have you on the show and can't wait to see you out on the course again, hopefully sometime soon. But before we let you go, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give? Sponsors, friends, family, any of that? The floor is all open to you.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I got to shout out a big thank you to Team Discraft and the Team Discraft Underground for, having me be a part of the team now, and excited to see where this journey takes us. besides that, thank you to all the friends and family out there. And, thanks to everybody in the disc golf community. This community is so wonderful. It's one of the nicest communities I've ever been a part of. There's so many great people in this. Thank you to you guys for what you guys do. Having a local podcast is super cool. It's great for the sport. And, also what you guys do. You guys volunteer left, right, and center for the sport. So thank you for making it accessible and easier for everyone across Ontario and Canada and wherever. But, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's it. Just thank you to everybody. Thank you to Canada. That's actually the biggest one. I had obviously heard stories of, people saying, Canada is always behind their athletes and their Olympians, and we've got your back. I never had really, really experienced it to the level that I did and have since going to the Olympics, being on the way to the Olympics, meeting random people who were just so proud and started crying, seeing, an Olympian going to the Olympics and genuinely meaning it, and just seeing the joy that this, being an Olympian has brought to other people. Since I've been home, I've been recognized every day since I've been home out in public, and just seeing the joy and we watched you on TV. We're so proud of you. And they're not blowing smoke up your ass. So you can tell that it's real. So thank you to all of Canada for, for being there for their athletes, and let's get disc golf into the Olympics. But yeah.
One last question before you go. Are you now going to get the, of course, set of Olympic ring tattoo? And are you going to have a disc flying through the ring?
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe I'll add that down the line. But yeah, I'm gonna be getting it hopefully within the next few weeks. But that's the plan. Yeah, I mean that's one of the coolest things about being Olympian is being able to have the ring. So, but maybe that's a good. I never thought about the disc flying through the rings.
Johnny G spreading good ideas.
Make sure it says Ultra Luna in there for Discraft.
Yeah, make sure you get a really good artist that can sketch that in nice and small for you. But yeah, Trent, it has been awesome to have you here. It was really awesome to watch you and Leah in the Olympics. Like I said, you may not have got a medal on the ice, but definitely a gold medal in vibes. And it was really awesome to see that constantly throughout the games, you dancing in the background of every single shot that you were in. I swear you've got like some sort of, speaking of Spider-Man, you've got some sort of spidey sense for when a camera is around.
I know where the camera's on you. Don't worry.
He's a real professional. He knows where everything is. But yeah, it was awesome to watch you, and excited to see you in disc golf this year. Sadly, might not get to play with you as much as you're moving up to MPO, but super excited to see where you go in the pro division. So best of luck with the upcoming season, and we'll definitely see you out on the course.
Yeah, thank you a bunch, boys. It was really fun to be on here today, and keep rolling. Like I said, thanks for what you guys do for the community, and thank you.
Appreciate you, my man. And we will be right back here on Missed Mando. Welcome back to Missed Mando. Thank you so much once again to Trent for coming on and joining us. Awesome conversation with an awesome guy. Like I said, we had so much fun watching him throughout the Olympics as somebody that I have had the pleasure of battling with and beating at some disc golf tournaments. I mentioned that a couple times in the interview. I'm going to keep mentioning it. It was awesome to see him in the Olympics, and making the step up to MPO this season is going to be awesome to watch as well. I'm sure you will hear his name during some of our tournament recaps through the season. Moving on to some Ontario news. No general news to go over, but it is getting into very, very busy registration time. Shawnee G, let's throw it on over to you.
We got 3 good registrations opening up in the next 2 weeks. First one, a big one. Christie Lake Spring Fling. This one is going to sell out pretty much instantly. There's sponsor registration starting March 5th, and general registration starts March 7th for the event that goes down May 2nd and 3rd. This is one of the ones where you should probably be a sponsor if you're in one of the mixed divisions, because because or you got to be within the first 30 seconds of registration opening if you want to have a chance to take down Mr. Robbie Holden and maybe steal that frisbee from him so we don't have to see it anymore. Second,
I can't remember what they did for trophies last year, but I will say the 2024 trophies that they did are pretty awesome. So
I dig it a lot.
Sign up and give a chance to get a pretty sweet trophy.
You beat Robbie, he'll give you his trophy from 2024. That's what I hear. I don't know. 2026 USDGC doubles qualifiers going down as always at Vic Park Valley in Guelph. Registration for that opens March 2nd for an event on April 25th. And then if you are an old like me, the Bronte Legends is it opens registration for the Bronte Legends opens on March 4th for an event going on during the week, a weekday event because us olds, we do not work or whatever. That's going down on June 4th. It happens just ahead of the Bronte and the Beast tournament. This is only for AM and Pro divisions 50 and up. None of you spring chickens down in the 40s. Sorry, you've got to wait for Bronte and the Beast that weekend. This is an Ontario tour. It's a provincial qualifier, and it's included in the Ontario Masters Tour. So definitely sign up for that one at Bronte. That's it for new registrations in the next 2 weeks before our next episode. But there are still a whole bunch of tournaments that are open now and still have a little bit of space left. So you want to jump on them before they fill. You've got spots available to amateur female divisions for the Toronto Open at Dentonia and FPO and the pro age protected pro women's divisions at Scarlet Woods. There's also a Glowy event going down at Dentonia that should not be missed. Glowy on the 18-hole Dentonia layout. Super, super fun there. Project 15 Open still has a handful of spots open for FPO players, but not many and not for long. The Five Sisters Open in Westport at the Dawn Family Course, that still's got some spots open, including, surprisingly, spots in divisions like MA1 and MA40. These divisions usually sell out like first, but for whatever reason, they got space. Maybe you can take it down and get your provincials qualifying spot that way. Dreammaker, a hugely popular event, that opens March 8th for an event on June 6th and 7th. It's going to sell out so fast. This is such a fun event. Fun course, fun vibes, the potluck dinner, lots of camping on site.
You're going to be there again, Johnny G?
We gotta skip it this year, unfortunately. We won't be. Yeah, I know. It's very sad. We're very sad, but we're gonna have to
blasphemy
here. I know. We're just doing too many things. Just too many things, and I'm gonna be at like Worlds for like a week. Like it's gonna. I got a ration. Unfortunately, and this one I don't know is gonna make the cut. Unfortunately, so what are you gonna do? There's also the Blackfly Legends up at South River just before the Blackfly Fling. That's still got a bunch of space left. It's also a provincial qualifier in the 50-plus divisions. The 40s, you got to qualify through the Blackfly Fling. I'm going to be there for the first time. It's going to be super fun. Foxwood still has somehow some space available in the pro divisions except for MPO, and it's also got space in the female amateur divisions. Foxwood is such a great event. You definitely want to test yourself playing that course. The Raspberry Rumble, I guess a sister event to the Blueberry Brawl, up in Sudbury on the last weekend of May. That's got some space left available. If you want to get some preview rounds for the Blueberry Brawl, maybe that's an event you want to sign up for and pop up. And then lastly, the Spring Fling and the Blue Moon Charity Doubles for queer disc golf. That event is going down at Haute Goat, and there is still space available in that. That will be a super fun tournament. I've noticed that Daryl is crowdsourcing some course design changes that we may see play out in this tournament. That'd be pretty cool. I've signed up to play MP50 to get my ass absolutely handed to me on a silver platter. So it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that event. And that is it for registrations.
Lots and lots and lots of good tournaments coming up in Ontario. Lots for us to play. We are spoiled with lots of great tournaments, and we're just getting into the start of it. There will be plenty of more registrations to come up, and we will, of course, cover each and every one of them here on Missed Mando. Shawnee G so delicately goes through disc golf scene, painful process, but he does it for the love of the game. We are going to move on over now to our fantasy draft for the 2026 season, and we're going to pick up a little bit of a straggler. There's a third guy that's going to join us for this next segment, but let's head on over there. Moving on now over to our 2026 Missed Mando fantasy draft. If you've been here all episode, you might notice a new face here that wasn't with us the rest of the episode. Our main man, our third co-host, Galen Naidu-Harris, in the flesh, looking to defend his title as the worst drafter on this podcast with his third and last place finish last year. He's got the tiny trophy. For those not watching, he just held up a tiny trophy. And he's looking to defend that title of third place that he took down last year. But with that, he also gets the first overall pick for this year. We are going to do things pretty much the exact same as last year. We will draft 6 MPO and 4 FPO. 2 of which, 1 MPO, 1 FPO, will be wild cards, meaning that they have to be a player that did not qualify for the Pro Tour Championships last year. And that is basically it. Oh, and we're also going to use a new scoring system. We talked about this on the last podcast just to make things a little easier on the back end for me, so I don't have to keep track of things. It'll just be your player's place in the standings is the points that you will get, and you're looking for the lowest points total. So somebody sitting in first place in the Pro Tour standings will get 1, second, 2, and so on and so forth. Alrighty, gentlemen, how about we get into this? Galen, you can take it away when you're ready with the number 1 overall pick.
Yes, sir. Last year, I believe I didn't even let you finish talking before I blurted out the name that I'm going to say again this year. I'll take a little more time, be a little more deliberate with it, but I think the obvious first name that's got to come off the board here is Gannon Burr. So, first overall, I expect big things from him again this year. Lock it in, Gannon.
Yeah, 100% the obvious number 1 choice.
How do you leave him there? There's no way he would make it to the second round, so it's take it or leave it.
Yeah, in a post-Kristen world, there really is nobody else I'm even considering. It's Gannon.
Absolutely. Especially now with this scoring format of just going off of your standing in the Pro Tour standings, it's pretty much a lock that Gannon Burr will be number 1 again at the end of the 2026 season. So locking up a pretty good spot there right away, barring any unforeseen circumstances, which obviously we do not hope for here. We want to see the best of the best all the time. Shawnee G with the number 2 pick. Let's go over to you.
Gonna build on my strategy that was moderately successful last year of starting in FPO. I'm going with Holland Handley. Got to get her again. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Absolutely. How do you say no to that? No doubt, no question. Holland Handley. Lock it in.
When I was thinking about this beforehand, this is exactly how I anticipated this draft starting. I was very hopeful that Sean might take someone like a Missy Gannon with the number 2 spot, because I mean the FPO field was relatively compact last year at the top with Silva, Missy, and Holland, but Holland obviously did end up taking down the points the regular season points and then used that to take down the Pro Tour Championship at the end of the year. So I think that is a fantastic pick. All right, I guess it's on to me with the third overall pick, and I kind of hinted at it. There was a decent log jam at the top of FPO, which could result in me getting lucky, and maybe somebody else could take over Holland Hanley in the top spot. And I'm going to start early by stacking my FPO players, and I am going to go with number 1, Silva Saarinen. Also just really fun to say, Saarinen. And obviously had a huge season last year, some events over in Europe this year. I think she'll have an even better year. Could definitely push Holland Hanley. And a little peek behind the curtain, Galen was just typing some names into our little spreadsheet that we've got going on, tracking our picks, and he 100% got it wrong at first, but he has just corrected his error and originally had Owen Scoggins put in there, and could absolutely be worth discussion getting taken so early, but I don't think she's quite in the top 3 of FPO, and we've got 2 of the 3 taken off the board so far, and I'm going to take the third, and that is Big Money Missy Gannon.
Yeah, I realized that I've known you long enough to know that making correct decisions is not typically something that you do. So instead of taking the correct player and own, I figured you'd probably go for Missy. So I had to correct that. But yeah, peek behind the curtain. I did have both of Robbie's picks in before he said them, even though I had to correct them for a second.
Yeah, I was leading the witness pretty good there. I was making it pretty obvious, but Owen definitely could be argued. I think Missy has finished like in the top 3 for the last. I mean, I don't even know how many years. She had the Player of the Year 2 years ago. I think she's won 2 Player of the Years now. She had the one over Paige, which was 100% fraud, and she should not have won whatsoever. But then she had another one that I don't think was as controversial. I'm trying to remember my history now, but she's always near the top of the Pro Tour standings, and a season without Kristen just means more opportunities to move up the leaderboard for everybody else. So I'm liking my 2 picks there. And Shawnee G, that swings us back around to you for pick number 5.
I'm going with a player that has won D-Glow in the past, and Worlds is at Toboggan. So I think that bodes well for her chances. Let's go with the dog Owen Scoggins. I don't know when Father Time's going
to go back-to-back world champion.
No, not necessarily back-to-back world champion, but back-to-back really, really good year. I'll
take it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know when Father Time's going to catch up to her, but it didn't last year, and so I'm going to go with it won't this year as well. I think her lowest finish was like tied for 15th or something like that. At Champions Cup, and she had a fantastic year last year. In addition to being world champion in 2 divisions, I'm gonna think she's continuing it on and never doubt the dog. So I'm not going to.
In Elite Series and major events last year, Owen Scoggins had 19 starts, 2 wins, 17 top 10s, and cashed 19 out of 19 times.
How do you not have that near the top of your list?
100%. And she actually technically finished above Silva Saarinen in the standings.
She did. She absolutely did. I mean, I like your. I think Silva's going to have an absolutely smasher of a year. So no way that pick was getting back to me. But where are you going next?
Well, where I'm going next, we'll have to sit and wait around
over
a
to
little
Galen.
bit. Over to Galen next. Already trying to skip over you, Galen.
Which is
Ideally,
fair.
yes.
Given the choices I made last year and how they played out, that's fair of you guys. You could probably just give me the picks at the end, and I would have
It
gotten the
might just
same
work
result.
out better for you, anyways.
Yeah, I gotta pick on the fly here, fellas, because I was planning on employing the exact same strategy that both of you just did, but now the top four and sort of the very solid top four are all off the board. Like there's, no disrespect to Ella or to Paige, Kat, Val. Some really, really great players. Like you look a little farther down, like I think there's even an argument for Evelina or Cadence. But now, since we've gone 4 players in a row off the FPO side, we're gonna pull a little Kyle Dubas here and try to exploit the market inefficiency, which is that no MPO players have been taken besides my first pick. So I'm gonna go back to back and take Calvin Heimberg and Ricky Wysocki, and just solidify the 1, 2, 3 from last year.
Just absolutely
Lock it in.
load up. Also, that would be the 1, 2, and 5 from last year, not 1, 2, and 3. But
Yeah, sorry, I was staring at Isaac, and then I went to Ricky from 2 years prior. But in my head, I was going for the 3 this year instead of the 2 years ago. Don't mind me. Like I said, baby, kept me up late at night. I'm going for who I believe will be the 3 best MPO players in my first 3 picks, because you guys stole all my favorite FPOs.
yeah, loading up on the MPO side. That is stacked top 3 to have on your MPO team. FPO might be hurting by the end of this. We will see, but you never know what's going to happen. And Shawnee G, that brings us over to you for your 3rd pick, 8th overall in the draft.
I am going to continue with FPO.
Wow.
Yep, I'm going to continue with FPO. That I'm thinking the MPO field is deep enough that anybody could sort of pop off on giving weekends and sort of, start pushing to the top. I think once you get past in sort of the 5th through 10th spot in MPO, there's a lot of similarity there, and there can be some movement. So I'm going to stick in FPO and try and drain the pool a little bit more for you guys. I'm going to take Ella Hansen.
Ella Hansen, a great pick. The out of the trio of Ella, Holland, and Raven Klein, the only one we're missing as a guest here on Missed Mando. Hopefully we can change that in the coming year. I think Sean just needs to reach out and say, hey, you're on my podcast fantasy team. Come on and talk about it. Also a former Canadian national champion, so extra bonus points there for that. I mean, great pick. She shot the highest rated FPO round of all time last year. Could have, maybe even should have won a world championship. If she had just parred 18, she would have been in the playoff. If she birdied 18, she would have outright won. So came very, very close. I think that's a great pick. I don't really have much more to add. Galen, any comment on Ella?
No, not much to add. That's if I had gone FPO, that's who I would have been taking. I think she had a hell of a year, and I think we're gonna have another one this year.
Yeah, not much more to say on that for sure. I think that's a great pick in the spot. I think that probably would be the next FPO that I would have taken based on who is already taken off the draft board. But I am actually going to. Well, I get back-to-back picks here. I'm going to split them up. I'm going to take one FPO, one MPO. And we'll start with the FPO since I'm just currently looking at the big board still. And we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, the top 5 from last season's standings, all taken. And I think that the next player up is going to have a boost this season again. She had where am I looking? She had 1 win last year, 8 top 10s in 17 starts, cashed in 15 events. And I think she'll have an even bigger year. Returning to form, she was on my team last year. I'm pretty sure when I won this thing. So let's run it back and let's take the 5-time PDGA World Champion Paige Pierce and reigning Canadian National Champion.
Yeah, put some respect on her name. Paige Pierce is back. Did she ever leave?
Yeah.
People are asking.
I mean, yeah. One slippery bridge took her down for a little while, and she has roared back. All right, so with my second pick this round, my 4th overall, 10th overall in the draft, I'm going to switch her over to the MPO side, and this is a tougher spot. I maybe would have liked to go double MPO here now that I'm looking at it, because it would have made this decision a little bit easier for me, because there's basically 2 players that I'm deciding between. Both of these players too had one had 1 win in 20 starts, one had 2 wins in 19 starts. And one had more top 10s as well. So you know what? That is going to solidify it. And I'm going to go back to back multiple world champions. I think I just added, what is that? 11 world titles in back-to-back picks. 5 for Paige Pierce and 6 for Mr. Paul Macbeth.
Perfectly adequate choice. Perfectly adequate choice.
Like, somebody else has to talk here besides me, guys. Come on.
Do we?
I was just hoping you were going to notice that I wrote Ben Calloway in your slot 5 minutes ago.
I didn't see that.
So I will say, okay, if we're talking...
One-time DGPT winner, Ben Calloway.
Yes, sir. True. Put some respect on his name. That's why I assumed Robbie was going to take him. But
actually, hasn't he won 2?
If you were going back and forth...
Has he?
I know he's got 1. I thought it was just 1, but you know more about the stuff than I do.
Retired.
So you were going back and forth between 2 guys. I thought the 2 guys you were considering were going to be Isaac and AB. I didn't even think Paul Macbeth was going to be on the radar. I mean, he had a hell of a year, and it kind of feels like again between him and Paige is like, who is more back? Tough question to answer, but
I mean,
I will confess it's not the direction I thought you were going in. So I'm intrigued.
Paul finished 4th in the standings last year, which is pretty crazy. Didn't have like a super standout year. He obviously had those 2 wins. He also was chasing Barella down in the final round of USDGC last year. And yeah, I think the comeback tour, the problem with drafting Paul is that he is due to have another kid this season. And will that take him away from some tournaments? Who knows? The guy can absolutely just fly in, fly out for some tournament weekends. And I think that new dad sort of energy and hunger will fire him up anyways. So I'm pretty confident there. There is one notable name that got skipped over in the MPO rankings so far. We've taken 1, 2, 4, and 5. Number 3 is still sitting there on the board. We'll see how long he lasts. Over to you, Shawnee G.
Well, quickly, just speaking from experience, obviously when you become a father, you really level up your disc golf game. People often compare Paul Macbeth and I, so I thought it'd be good if I hopped in here. And I'm up about 45 rating points since the baby was born. So obviously the same will be true of Paul. First ever player pushing the high, what would he be, that 1070s, 1080s. So great choice. Yeah, love it.
The only thing comparable between you and Paul is stature. That is it.
And beard. You get the beard too.
That's true. Yeah.
Galen, do you still have the McLaren?
No, I had to sell that. Not the safest for the baby. So yeah, we just went to
fair.
Yeah,
really
dad car. Yeah.
But as I was saying, Isaac is not staying on the board. I am going to take him as my first MPO pick of the draft. I was looking at the events that he didn't do particularly well at. He had a 32nd at Waco. Waco's not on the tour this year, so that's cool. He he had a 27th at PCS. I don't think that's on the tour this year.
Nope, it's not.
His 18th at D-Glow. It's not great considering that it's, the World Championships this year, but I'm comfortable with that he will be able to do even better last year with the courses that are on tour. So yeah, I'm going to go straight chalk on this one and go the third ranked DGPT player in Isaac Robinson.
That's pretty crazy that he finished third. 20 starts, he had 1 win, 13 top 10s, and he cashed at all 20 events, which definitely helps. But only 13 top 10s and only 1 win. Third just goes to show you how it was Gannon up at the top, and then things got spread out pretty good below that. And some guys had quieter seasons and still finished way up there. One guy definitely surprised me more than any on this list, but we'll talk about that when either he gets drafted or he gets left off. We'll see when we get there. But good pick. Isaac Robinson goes to Shawnee G, his 4th, 11th overall in this draft. Now we go to Galen for your 4th and 5th, 12th and 13th overall in the draft.
Yeah, you guys have got me really on my toes here. This, I don't know, the way this draft has gone has not mapped my plan going into it at all. Like I said, I was going to go FPO first.
Way every draft
and then
goes.
You guys went FPO first. I'm like, okay, I'll go MPO, and I'll stick MPO for a while. I'll let them draft their 4 each and wait. And I think there are some names between, 9 and 15, depending on who you guys take, I'd be very comfortable with on my FPO side. But now I see a couple of names that I really like over on MPO. I did see those names I like on MPO, but now I see some names over on FPO that I'm like, ooh, there's a Cat Merch, there's a Cadence Burge, there's an Evelina, like Val Mandahano had a great year last year. So this is me really buying time because I'm not sure what direction I want to take this. I think I'm going to stick with my recalculated plan, at least for my first pick, and I'm going to go with Anthony Barella. I was in with my buddy Brad. We did like a heads up, which is a poker term for like when you play one-on-one league. So it was just the two of us, and he chose Anthony second off the board after I took Gannon first, which I was a little surprised by, but he defended that pick pretty dang well. And I would argue that Anthony's got probably a higher ceiling than anybody not named Gannon Burr. So I'm hoping he can get close to it, and some of those standout poor performances, we can raise the floor a little bit. So let's lock it in. My 4th pick, Anthony Barella.
Major winner, Anthony Barella.
Yes, sir. And this is where it really gets hard. I would say there's probably 4 names I'm seriously considering. I'm thinking seriously about Ezra Robinson. That's the name at the front of my mind. Also thinking about Kyle Klein. Also thinking about Cat Merch, Cadence Burge, Evelina Salonen. I just don't know. I don't know what I can trust you guys to do next. I don't know what's going on inside those funky little brains of yours.
This is kind of a bit of a help towards you. But I will just point out the fact that Shawnee G and I are both currently locked in on our FPO outside of our wild card. We can only take an FPO
that's right.
wild card now.
I was thinking that you guys still had one more FPO pick each, but you don't have any. Great, so I can stick to my plan.
Yeah. We do have one FPO left, but it has to be outside of the top 20. So anybody inside the top 20 that's left is free game for you.
Yeah, so you've made my decision making much easier, and thank you for having a higher quotient of brain power tonight than me. Because in my head, I was like, okay, 4 FPOs each, so they're going to take 2 out of those names, and I got to pick up whatever third name is going to be left over, because I think you guys easily, if you had one more pick each, could have taken Cat and Cadence. But now I know I can sit on those forever, and I will lock in my MPO pick that I was planning on taking, Ezra Robinson. I was just typing Isaac because I'm a dork. I'm going to take Ezra off the board with my next MPO pick.
And now the reverse side of that is that you are now locked in completely on your MPO outside of your wild card. So we know where you will be going for your next 4 picks. your next 3 picks in a row before we get to the wild card rounds. Things are starting to lock up here. But yes, I feel like if I didn't give that info to you, I wouldn't have felt right about it. This is not 3-on-3 overtime for a gold medal. This is real integrity, real sport here, and we're gonna keep it above board. And with that, I'm gonna move on and quickly get the thought of 3-on-3 overtime out of my head and say, Shawnee G, it is over to you with your 5th pick, 14th overall. Is right.
Oh, yes. This guy had a good year. It was kind of a sneaky good year. He barely made coverage, except for a couple times here and there. He had a 4th at Cascade. He had a 2nd at Ledgestone, 4th at Idlewild. I'm gonna take, perhaps a little cautiously, maybe, but I'm gonna take Kyle Klein. Maybe he's due for a bit of a renaissance of sorts. Maybe he will shake off some of the things that he did last year, like, like he had a 17th at Waco. Waco's not on the tour. His Deglo, or his performance at Deglo, wasn't great. 24th, but and 20th at MVP, not great. 27th at Worlds, but we're not going to be over there, so that's okay. I think I don't have a lot of other choices, frankly, right now. I don't want to let him go away because he is ranked 7th, and you would take him 100%. So I'm going to take him, if only for defensive, but he's still an amazing player. And so we'll see.
If he slipped one more pick, he would have been gone. It would have been gone.
100%. Yep.
And that was the player that I was hinting at earlier that really surprised me how far up he was in the Pro Tour standings. Just an unbelievably quiet season.
He really was quiet. You didn't hear a peep from him.
Him and Ricky were the only players in the top 10 of the Pro Tour standings, inside the top 11, actually. Only players inside the top 11 that didn't have a win. And Ricky, of course, had 13 top 10s, whereas Kyle had 9, so a little bit less there, but still nine top 10s. Solid. And then probably a bunch of top 20s. Anywhere from that 12 to 20 range. So yeah, I 100% would have taken him next.
Yeah, I dig it. If I had one more MPO pick before I went wildcard, he would have been mine too.
Yeah, I definitely think you made the right choices on your side there, but Kyle just super sneaky. So I mean, if he can get a win, that can definitely be a super sneaky pick all the way at 14th in the draft. That is going to take things over back to me now with my 5th and 6th, 15th and 16th overall. Am locked into making some MPO picks, and that is what I am going to do. We now have the 8 top 8 MPO all taken, and I think those are the only 8 MPO taken, are the top 8 so far. And do I continue the trend and just take number 9? I think I will. This player had less starts than anybody else inside the top 15. with only 17. Wait, am I looking at the right bar here? Yeah, 17 starts, but he did have 3 wins, 9 top 10s, cashed 15 times. Drafting European players is always a little bit iffy. Sometimes they might just like spend a little bit of extra time back in Europe, either taking off a tournament before the European stretch or staying out there a little bit longer and taking a tournament off coming back from the European stretch. Always interesting to see how that goes, but I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, and also just one of my favorite players to watch, and gives me another really fun name to say going along with Silva Saarinen on my team. I'm going to take Niklas Antela. Yeah,
Finnish cowboy, lock him up. I mean,
Finnish
absolutely. There's again, yeah, no way that guy was not getting drafted by the time it got back to us. Well, me, since Galen can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. That's a great choice. Oh my God, Robbie, you gonna cough up a lung over there?
I just added some auto tune to my voice, or I guess the opposite of auto tune, auto not tune,
human tune.
I'm gonna give up on that analogy. But it is now. I have a second pick, or do you have something to say there, Shawnee G?
No, I want to know who your back to back is. Now things start to get a little interesting, I think.
Yeah, now
So
definitely
now
start to get a
the
little
draft
interesting.
starts. All the chalk's gone.
And
now you have to start making picks.
yeah, and I will give a little spoiler and say that I am not going to continue the trend of just taking MPO in order of where they finished last year. We've now taken the top 9. I'm going to deviate a little, and I'm not going to go much further down the leaderboard, but I think that this player, could have a great year. Actually, it's between 2 guys. One of which 20 starts, 5 top 10s, no wins. The other 18 starts, 1 win, 4 top 10s, and 14 cashed. The other player had 18 cashed. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh. Who do I think is going to have the bigger jump this year? And you know what, I'm gonna stick with it. He also just signed with the manufacturer that I primarily bag. The big signing of the disc golf offseason to MVP Disc Sports. I'm gonna go with the Goose, Aaron Gossage.
I've been liking his preseason stuff. I just watched the practice round out at Olympus for the Supreme Flight Open. He's looking pretty comfortable with those discs so far. Doesn't seem to have lost a step. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't see him falling down in the standings this year. So I think it's a pretty solid pick.
Yeah, I think Goose will take his first win this year. That's my prediction for the season, is that Goose is going to get a win and improve. I think he gets into the top 10 standings by the end of the year, and to get a top 10 guy with the 16th overall pick, pretty happy about it.
Highest ranked without a win so far, so he's definitely due.
It's like a bold, not that bold pick, saying he's going to get his first win. You know, he hasn't done it, and as they've done it, he haven't. But
it's mild.
I like that call.
Lukewarm
I like that a lot.
Picks from Robbie.
Hey, what else is new?
That's gonna do it for my 2 picks. So back to you, Shawnee G.
I am torn right now. I want
getting tough.
It's getting tough because now that's like a lot of these guys could go either way. The one I'm thinking really popped off at the end of the season, and I do not know if he's going to continue that end of season run or if he's going to be more like his start of season run, which could not have been more different. Now, he was still coming off injury at the start of the season, so maybe it took him a little bit of time to get mobile, get things moving a little bit. So I'm going to... what the hell? I'm gonna jump down a few spots, and I'm gonna go Cole Redolin.
That was who I was debating between. It was either Aaron Gossage or Cole Redolin.
Yeah. I mean, he starts off the year with a 50th, a 34th, and a 73rd, and then ends the year with 3rd at Idlewild, 3rd at GMC, and wins MVP Open. Yep. So, that's pretty darn solid a finish. It's almost as good as you could. Probably had the best finish of anybody on tour. And so, let me just actually look. Other than Gannon, of course, he did. Gannon went first, second. He went third, first. So, second best finish on tour out of anyone. And, it's Cole Redolin. The guy can smash. So, hopefully, he picks up where he left off at the end of last season and comes out hot. So, Cole Redolin.
Yeah, that's who I was debating between. So, I think that's a good pick in that spot.
Yeah, I dig that too. Yeah, the kind of two names I was wondering about were Cole, and am I missing something? I'm kind of surprised Adam Hammes is still on the board at 10th in last year's standings. He didn't really enter into my decision making here because I sort of just went bang 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 off the top. But did he break his femur or something? Or are you guys just playing with fire a little bit here?
Okay. I mostly just don't like him.
mostly on that.
I don't like him and his stupid face. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's real personal.
He had 2 wins last year.
Mm-hmm.
Not
a sneaky one that I don't remember him winning.
Which one? DMC?
Hammes. I just don't remember him winning last season.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's just like I can't picture it in my head.
The 2 that he won aren't on tour this year, I don't think. I don't think Discmania Challenge is on tour.
I think
maybe it is.
Is
it? Okay. Well, maybe he'll go back to back, and he won Waco, and that's not on the tour. Yeah. So, I don't know. He's not a bad pick. I just don't want him.
Also, totally I would say, for players that have been available, I think there are some guys that I think could jump up ahead of him. I think him having 2 wins last year obviously help boost him up the standings, and I wouldn't be surprised if he moved down a little bit. Although he is 7th place all time in Elite Series wins, which it always surprises me every time I remember that. It's like he's had seasons where he's had 3 or 4 wins on the Pro Tour, and it's just like I don't know what it is. Why is he so forgettable in my brain? I don't know.
Well, no.
Yeah, I don't
know. No judgment. I was just wondering if I'd missed something there because I thought that guy'd be in consideration anyway.
Still got some MPO picks left, but you do not. You got some FPO picks, and we're back over to you now with your. What are we at now? This is the 6th round. Yeah, 6th and 7th round for you. 18th and 19th overall.
So I'm thinking about being a little bit weird here. Unless you guys want to veto it. Yeah, I know, weird for me to do something odd. Unless you guys want to veto it, I don't remember there being any rule saying we had to take our wildcard picks last. So if we don't have to take our wildcard picks last, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that my FPO picks are locked in and you guys can't touch them, and choose what I think is a really obvious wildcard pick on the MPO side. So unless you guys are going to try to cast some reversals here, if there's a spell or like a Swords of Revealing Light or like a shield generator or something you want to bust out here, I'm gonna go with my
D20.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my MPO wildcard pick next.
I'll allow it.
I didn't expect the strategy, but yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay, I like it. So I'm going to take a guy who I do not expect to be outside of the Pro Tour cutoff next year. I was actually very surprised checking this again, and then I was thinking back to how last year went and kind of getting a little bit why he was, but I'm going to go with Joey Buckets as my MPO wildcard. Finished 11th in 2024, all the way down to 33rd last year. Again, I wonder if some of those really tough performances are going to be a little bit anomalous. And I'm going to take advantage of the fact that you guys can't touch the 3 players I want in FPO and just go with my M, because I figure I'm going to be last in the last round there, and I figure there's a very good chance that I don't get to take the wild card pick that I want unless I take it now. So I'm going to lock in Joey Buckets as my first of my 2 picks and take advantage of the format, and then I will unveil, I guess, the first of my last 3, my only 3 FPO non-wildcard picks. I already know who they are, but I guess I got to start with somebody. So I'll go Cat Merch first off the board for my my FPO choices. And I'll throw it back over to you guys.
Next. I think that's the obvious next FPO choice. I will say I can't speak for Sean, but I was not taking Joey Buckets with my wild card. That is for sure. He wasn't on my radar. He was on Sean's team last year, and
He did not do well.
If
probably
not
Sean has
for
some PTSD. Yeah, so maybe
bit.
Nobody was picking him.
If not for his minus 6 points, Shawnee G maybe could have taken down the title. He did lose by 9, so not entirely on Joey Buckets, but did not get positive points from Joey Buckets, which is not what you want. So we'll see, though. He did finish, like you said, what do you say, 11th in 2024? So he had a win that year, too. So, definitely has the potential. See if he can get back on the horse in 2026. And Shawnee G, that brings us to you for your 7th round pick, 20th overall.
I am going to employ the Galen Naidu-Harris strategy and go with my FPO wild card.
I'm going to be so mad at you if you snipe me.
Now,
I feel like I know exactly where he's going right now. And I think Robbie's going to be pissed.
Play a full tour last year.
You're the worst.
But she is jumping on tour.
He's doing it
full time this year. Very excited. She had a fantastic tournament last year at the Supreme Flight Open, except for like 2 holes in round 1, including she went from like a 13 in round 1 on hole 18 to a 3. She eagled the hard hole 18 in round 3. But we know her as friend of the show, the pride of Westport, Ontario, Rebecca Dawn. I definitely want her. I am in the Upshot fantasy draft. I picked her for that. I want her for this full tour. I think she's going to have a breakout season, and I'm excited to see. And shame on all of you for not picking her first.
I love seeing Robbie just in pain here. He is so mad that I came up with that idea, and you got to pick before he got his next choice.
It's outstanding.
And you did it after my last pick, too. Otherwise, I probably would have just employed this on my last pick, knowing that somebody was going to take Rebecca eventually. And I even was looking down. I was like, because I think last year we just did our wild cards in the last 2 rounds. And I was like, okay, when we get to round 9 and it's wild card, it's going to go Galen, Sean, and then me. I might still be screwed and not get Rebecca. But Sean implements it even sooner and gets the wild card out of the way. That is devastating. I was definitely gunning for Rebecca. I think I agree. She's going to have a huge year. She played. Let's see, how many events did she play last year? Where is she in this list? Rebecca. She played 12 events. She had 3 top 10s, cashed at 9 of them. And of course, I mean, she had a 4th place at Ledgestone and a 4th at another one that I'm forgetting.
DMC.
Right.
4th at DMC, 8th at TPC. What was TPC?
TPC. I only think of like actual golf, like TPC Sawgrass, actual golf course. TPC
Preserve. Is that the Preserve Championship? Yeah, it would have been
Oh
Preserve
yeah, it's
because that
got to
was
be
just
the
before
Preserve
USW.
Championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm
huge. I think
I'm excited for her.
she's gonna have a major boost this year, and yeah, I think she's gonna be well within the Pro Tour Championship line this time around, and will not be eligible as a wild card pick the next time we do this draft. That is soul crushing, absolutely soul crushing to my draft. But all right, we're gonna lock in, and that also means because now I'm locked in. I can't take another FPO inside. And plot twist, we decided. Well, not really a plot twist, just peek behind the curtain. We already decided that Sophia Dunica would not count as a wild card pick, so I can't pick her. That is devastating. Absolutely devastating.
This is
All right,
exactly why I did it. Thank you for this
Yeah.
innovation in screwing Robbie, Galen. I really appreciate that.
And hey,
Ridiculous.
I'm happy to oblige. And the second that you went wildcard, I went, fuck, why didn't I take both my wildcards? Because I would have taken Rebecca as my FPO wildcard too.
Yeah.
And I could have just taken my FPO last. So I dinged myself a little bit, but I am happy that we combined to screw Robbie. So yeah, this is
I
great.
think we should at least have the rule that you can't take your wild card until you have your 5 or your 4 or your 3. You know, like I think you have to pick your main team before you pick your wild card.
I respect it. Making up rules on the fly. That's how this podcast
Absolutely.
works.
Yep. So what are you
right.
going to do?
Well-
What are you going to do, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm not gonna take my FPO wild card now because there's nobody that I really care about taking. So I will just decide that at the very end, and we'll jump back over to the MPO side of things. So I have 3. I need 2 more plus a wild card. And okay, the couple still on the board that I think are going to be pretty good picks. There's one that I think I can wait. I can wait one more. Oh, I got back-to-back picks here. I got back-to-back picks. Oh, and these will actually be my last 2 MPO. So I'm going to round this out with this player. He got his. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry, Adam Hammes. I'm still gonna go against you. I'm not gonna take you, but I am gonna go with the player right below you in the standings. From what I'm looking at here, this player had the most starts of anybody on tour. He must have just played everything because I'm seeing a lot of 20s, and then for some reason this player has 23 starts. So I don't know where those 3 extra starts came from compared to everybody else. But some extra starts means some extra chances for Pro Tour points. This guy is definitely a tour grinder. Oh, it's because he kept flying back and forth between Europe and the US. That's how he got those extra ones. Maybe didn't help his play in those, but he did get his first win last year, 8 top 10s, and he cashed in 20 out of 23 events. Mr. Two Tight Pants, Ezra Aderhold, is going to be that pick. Also, Too Tight Shirt. That practice round video with Goose, his sleeves were literally going to rip open. The guy's a monster, so jacked. And I'm just gonna keep it going, and just go to the next player in the standings that I think actually was going to have a pretty good boost next year. He 18 starts last year, 6 top 10s, 17 out of 18 cashed. And I think he can boost some of those numbers up. So I'm going to go with Mr. Sullivan Tipton as my final MPO pick. And I'm liking that value there.
I wanted. That is who I wanted. So I guess
There we
it's
go.
fair
Nice
play.
little snipe.
Very nice little snipe. I think he's got the new sponsor this year, I think.
I think he
did
just
he jump
re-signed
over?
with I think he just re-signed with DGA, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Okay. Never mind.
He was one of those. He was him and Cole were highly speculated as guys that are on DGA that might get picked up by Discraft, but I'm pretty sure both just stayed with DGA.
Let's see here. So now that I have to actually think about something here, he's way too roller coaster Robbie for me. I don't think I can go Simon Lizotte. It's just either second or 50th for him. Evan Smith is not going to be touring as much this year, so I don't want to pick him.
You could always go Evan Scott if you wanted.
I mean, they're basically the same person, I think.
Or Aiden Scott.
I only make that mistake 4 times. I won't make it a 5th. You know what? I'm gonna dive the depths a little bit more down the leaderboard. This guy, I'm not gonna go. I'm jumping outside the top 20. See,
I think I can guess who this is.
You think you can? Okay, this guy.
It's a friend of the show.
It's a friend of the show.
I know
he got an upgrade on his tour team.
Yes, sir.
He
great
had a pretty solid year. He's getting his footing under him a little bit. He had a 5th at MVP Open. Nice little one there. He's still definitely roller coaster Robbie, like no doubt. He's still learning the tour life, but he's young. He's got an absolute cannon on him, and his name is Luke Taylor. I think this is going to be a good year for him, and it's probably a mistake to jump past Andrew Marweed and Dickerson and Gavin Babcock and Corey Ellis and Bradley Williams to go down to Luke Taylor. But
I think you learned your lesson with Bradley Williams last year.
As a matter of fact, I did. I still have 2 picks left, and they're still going to be MPO. So I still got some room. So I think maybe one of you guys might have taken him at some point. Who knows? I don't know. But I like Luke. I'm going to put him in my slot over to Galen.
Yeah, I like that. I couldn't have put him in any slot because I've locked in my FPO or my MPO. It feels like 3 hours ago.
That's
but
fair point.
I still think Luke Taylor is a great pick, and anytime we can get a friend of the pod that Miss Mando bump as he will get for being on your fantasy team this season, that is a win. So since we are following Sean's made up rule that he came up with 5 minutes ago and not letting me take my next wild card, I am instead of that just going to round out my FPO side with the players that I knew I was going to take again like an hour ago, because as soon as I figured out that MPO was locked in, I knew the 3 players I wanted on FPO. So I got back-to-back picks. We have locked in. I just want to double check who I've already taken. I took Kat first. So with my next 2 picks, I'm going to take Evelina Salonen and Cadence Burge, friend of the pod. I think
fantastic picks.
Yeah,
Evelina this far down into the draft it feels kind of remarkable.
Yeah, I think with both of those players, for I would say somewhat different reasons, very, very high ceilings, and I think if Cadence keeps putting the way she was last year, and Evelina gets back on track a little bit, very high floors as well. So I'm gonna lock in Evelina and Cadence and send it back over to you, Shawnee G, for your last non-wildcard pick.
Oh, okay. So now that I jumped down the leaderboard a little bit, I gotta pop back up.
Do you? Do you have to?
I do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to. I don't like him. I don't like him. He throws discs at endangered vultures. And I already said I didn't want him on my team. But he finished 10th, and that's a pretty good amount of points. So I will take Adam Trash Fire Hammies on my team. What the hell? Round out a team of good guys with one absolute bad guy. Sure, why not? That's just a good set of points that I'd just be losing. Even though the 2 events that he won last year are not on tour this year. But the guy can still throw a frisbee, and so, okay, I'll reluctantly put him on the team.
I mean, it's hard to argue against that, finishing in 10th. Regardless of feelings on a player, it's hard to it's hard to ignore that.
Yep. All right, over to you.
Robbie, with back-to-back wildcard picks to round out your team.
Yes, sir.
I'm very curious where you go with this one.
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest. My MPO wildcard is I'm totally lost. And I'm looking at a couple. There's some European names that definitely are appealing, but it's like, are they playing like pro tours? I don't know. One I just looked at, Mauri Vilman is currently, he's registered for not to play anything stateside until Champions Cup. And then he's doing Jonesboro, KC Wide Open at Austin, Swedish Ale Heinola is what he's signed up for so far. And the other player that I'm looking at is, oh no, this is not the right player. This is a different Lauri Lettinen.
I was gonna say Lauri Lettinen's got to be. I mean, just look at all the Europeans: Vaino Makala, Jesse Nieminen. Just don't even think about anybody with a North American sounding last name.
Champions Cup is like the 4th event of the season. So like, yeah, he's missing a couple events, but like he's still jumping in pretty early. And for those European events, if there's a lower attendance from Americans, from some of the other competition, he may have he's got a better chance of creeping up those.
He cleaned up in those European events last year, where it went.
Yep.
Where is it? Starting with Konopiste, which he won.
Yeah.
And then he won the Baltic Disc Golf Championships, and then kind of fell off a little bit after that for a bit, but then finished second at Crokol in that crazy playoff with that was Callaway, right? Ben Callaway.
Correct.
They just played the same hole on repeat, and they played it like 6 times in a row, and it was the most boring playoff in the history of disc golf. But could have been a 2-time winner. And also finished 4th at Turku, 9th at European Disc Golf Festival. I am leaning towards him, but let's move off of that and go to FPO right now. Not being able to take Sofia Dunica after having Rebecca Dawn absolutely robbed from me is heartbreaking. I would love to take friend of the pod, Chantel Badinsky, to have some Canadian representation. But I just don't know how much she plans on playing this year. Now that she isn't sponsored, she's going to be open bag for the year. Not sure how much she's going to be playing, so I don't think I can take Chantel as much as I would like to. So I'm going to have to go with somebody that I think is going to make a jump. And I think the player most likely to have a good jump, sitting somewhat around the the cutoff mark for this, played 14 events, had 2 top 10s, 11 cashes. I think that's where I'm going to go. I think it is. Because, I mean, Haley King is right there, which is like the most, like, if you could draft Haley King and know she's playing a full tour, it'd be the most obvious choice ever. But you definitely don't know that. She had 7 starts, the least on this event this page by far. But all 10 were cashes. All 10 were top 10s. But
Haley's
I
not
think
playing until the Kansas City Wide Open.
Yeah, I can't do that. So instead,
end of April.
Instead, I'm going to go with somebody. You know what? I'll do it. She didn't get a win last year, but did the year before. She also plays a lot, so I'm banking on that kind of helping keep her above. And I'm going to go with Emily Weatherman.
She's signed up for everything, so at the very least, you'll have chances.
Exactly, and that is what I need, especially with the way that we're doing the points this year and just Pro Tour standings. The more you play, the more opportunity for points. That's going to move you up the leaderboard. I think
She's also, I believe she's still a teenager too. Like I think she's like 19 years old.
Yep,
she's
one of the young guns.
I was really hoping as you were reasoning through this that she was gonna make it back around to me because I knew that Sean had already locked in his FPO wildcard. I guess that leaves me with that one pretty obvious choice, but that's what I said about Joey Buckets. But there's still a good option there. But if I had the choice, if it came back to me, I was going Emily. I think she's a great pick. High ceiling. She's gotten better every year she played, and she's signed up for everything. Great pick.
We'll see who your obvious choice is when it makes it back around to you. If it's the same that I was kind of debating with against Emily Weatherman there in my head, but I'll save that till we get to your pick. And for my MPO wildcard, I am just going to bite the bullet, and there's nothing else that really sticks out to me too much. For some reason, I just can't find anything on Laurie Lettinen and if he's going to tour this year or not. If he is, I definitely am going to wish I picked him, but I am going to go with
Don't you dare!
No. It started to go. Is there another player here that Shawnee G has his eyes on that? I am going to change up my mind in hope that this is a snipe on Shawnee G and I can make up a little bit for the Rebecca Dawn snipe. And I'm going to make sure that he can't have a fellow lefty on his team representing the lefty squad. And I am going to go with Austin Turner.
I like it. It was who I was thinking. It absolutely was who I was thinking. If only to get the lefty on board, my fellow brethren.
I knew it.
Suffering.
You robbed me of having any Canadians, so I'm going to rob you of having any lefties.
Listen, you could have picked better. It's not my problem. Yeah, I was definitely looking at Austin Turner. Absolutely. But I'm okay. I'm okay with this because the guy that I'm going to pick, I think he's got some promise to him. He was above the cut line until the MVP Open. Till the end of the MVP Open.
Oh.
And unfortunately, Matty O, his finish at MVP, bumped him out of the Tour Championship. He's the brother of a friend of the show. I'm going to go Jake Mon, the older brother of Ryan Mon, friend of the show. Magnificent beard on this gentleman. He had a 6th at Supreme Flight Open. He had 10th at D-Glow. He had, some top 20s. He had, 117th, which, isn't particularly great. But that was at PCS. Now, I don't care about PCS because I don't think it's on tour. But he had a couple top 20s, some top 30s. That's pretty solid for a wild card spot. So yeah, I'm gonna go Jake Mon, and I'm not upset with it.
I mean, the first player not inside the Pro Tour Championship, I think is a pretty solid bet. Pretty solid bet.
He almost wouldn't have been an option, but Matteo just snuck in at the last event and took enough points to drop him out.
Sniped it from him.
His consolation prize is being drafted to my team.
Yeah.
It is not much of a
Sophia, why'd you have to play so good at the end of the season so you aren't eligible for me to draft as a wild card player?
Why did Kristen have to retire? Kristen doesn't retire.
Well,
Kristen doesn't retire. Sophia's an option.
Didn't she get in based on her finish at MVP?
Because Kristen retired. Because there was a spot available.
True. I thought it was top 2, or was that only MPO? Was it MPO that was top 2, not in the Pro Tour Championship that got in? And FPO was only 1, so it was Haley King?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Well, yeah, we don't have to linger on this. But sure. She was in the Pro Tour Championship regardless, and that hurts. That hurts. I really wanted to have either Sophia or Rebecca on my team.
Same.
I'm heartbroken. I am heartbroken.
Yep. Very, very sad for you. It's really too bad. Over to Galen for his final wild card pick. Where are you going?
Final pick of the draft.
Yes, sir. Well, Robbie, if you wanted to pick those players, you could have. You just didn't. So I guess you must not love them. Understandable. So I do think there's one obvious name. I mean, I would love to take Haley King, but she's not playing anything. At least she's not registered for anything, and she didn't play anything last year. Rebecca and Emily Weatherman were sort of my 2 top picks there. I would love to have Chantel, but again, with her talking about maybe a little bit of a new relationship with touring, the open bag, I'm not sure how much she's going to be on tour. Alexis Mandajano, you have to think about. Elise Midling, I picked her last year, and she did wind up burning me a little bit. I still think she's got a crazy high ceiling, like similar Taylor Chosek. Like, there are some players there that could go off and be insane. I'm going to stick with the third member of the trifecta who has not yet been picked and go with somebody who plays everything, who's always right in the mix, and actually finished 23rd this year and last year, 25 and 24, in Raven Klein. Friend of the show.
Coming off an injury, and I think maybe surgery, Raven Klein, friend of the show.
Is that a recent injury? I saw that on Instagram.
I think it was in the off season.
Okay.
Now, Galen, being a dad and not immersed in the entire disc golf social media scene, as Robbie and I probably are, I will allow you, if you wish, to change your pick based on information you did not likely have. So, knowing that she is coming off an injury, she is signed up for the tour, but, would you like to change your pick from Raven Klein to someone else with this new information? However, if you do, and you pick somebody who also has information you do not have, you cannot change your mind.
Very interesting proposition, Sean.
This is the Price is Right. Would you like to change which door you open?
Yeah, and if we were doing the Monty Hall problem, I would be changing my door because that's a matter of statistics. But this is the real world, Sean. There isn't any math here. There's no math in the world. At least that's the way I operate. I think I'm going to keep Raven. I didn't have that information. You guys are right. I'm taking a look at her Instagram and rapidly Googling and learning everything I can about a torn plantar fascia. Seems like a full recovery, proper rehab is about a 15, 16 week process. She said she tore it in December. I don't know when in December, but
it's either 2 or 3 months into it.
Yeah, and it's not as if there's a major series of events starting like tomorrow. We got one coming up, and then I think we got a little beat between the first and the second. Do we not?
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. In between
2 weeks. So like
to get to New Orleans.
Yeah, I like her chances at being pretty close to 100%, unless there's a setback by event number 2. I'm looking at some videos that she's got on her Instagram here. I'm sure that she is not feeling at her most comfortable, and recovering from something like that, I'm sure it'll take a little bit of time, but she's moving well in the Dome. She's throwing well in South Carolina. Or no, that's an old pin video, but she's moving well in the Dome on a recovery video from about a week ago. So I'm going to stick with Raven. I could wind up getting burned by this, but she plays a ton of golf. We know she's a trooper. She's a friend of the pod, and I'm hoping that we're at a point in her recovery where, with not a super heavy start to the schedule, she might be able to get back to 100%. And she seems very determined. Like, looking at this, I'm like, I like her stick-to-itiveness, and I'm gonna stick to it with this pick.
She came on the show, and you're showing her that respect. I love it. I'll be honest with you. I was trying to rope-a-dope you a little bit there, because I do have information about a couple of the other people who were a little bit farther down, like Allie Smith, who is basically retired from disc golf. Deanne Carey joined the military, and so is probably not going to be on tour.
Leaving tour.
Yeah. So I was hoping, but you didn't take the bait. Well done. Good for you. And I'm glad that Raven, friend of the show, Raven Klein, is on your team.
I just looked at the video of her throwing it at Dome too. Definitely looking good. So I think that's a solid pick. I'm also a lot more confident after this draft that there are going to be far less players just not earning points because they're not touring anymore. Like Galen had 5 last year, I think, that were just like not touring players anymore. I think we got that out of the way, and I think we're gonna be solid this year in that realm.
Yeah, I dig it. I think I'm looking these over again, and I think we have some pretty good teams here, boys. I think you're probably already miles ahead of me, but I'm thinking we got to throw these up on an Instagram poll, see if we can get our fan plural. We might have 2 this year. I don't know, to weigh in on who they think has drafted the best team.
We did last year, and I'm definitely going to make a graphic, and we're going to drop it up and see. What do you got there? I can't see your screen.
I know I can't get it to actually show anything. It's too bright. Oh, it started.
Totally useless.
Useless.
Anyway.
Have you already posted it, or is that last year's?
See a little. No, I was literally in the background, was looking up last year's post to see if we did one, and obviously we did. And the votes. Let's see. How can I find? Was 70% of the votes. The fans got it right and correctly predicted me. There was 1 vote for Galen's team. And there were 2 votes for Sean's team, and then 7 for mine. Unfortunately, I can't see who voted for who. I'm trying to figure out who's the one person that voted for Galen. It won't show me a name. All I can see is the profile picture. It might have
been me.
Honestly, might have been.
I could have voted for my own team.
I don't think that's your profile picture. But I recognize Chris Brown's profile picture as voting for me, so thanks, Brownie. Appreciate that, and correct pick, obviously, as I won. Let's see how it shapes out this year. Let's do a quick little team recap. Galen's got Gannon Burr, Calvin Heimberg, Ricky Wysocki, Anthony Barella. That's insane. That is bonkers. Ezra Robinson, Joey Buckets, Cap Merch, Evelina Salonen, Caden Spurge, Raven Klein. Shawnee G has Holland Hanley, Owen Scoggins, Ella Hansen, Isaac Robinson, Kyle Klein, Cole Radallen, Rebecca Dawn, Dalla Dawn, Luke Taylor, Adam Hammes, Jake Mon, and I've got Silva Saarinen, Missy Gannon, Paige Pierce, Paul Macbeth, Niklas Antela, Aaron Gossage, Goose, Ezra Aderhold, Mr. Two Tight Pants, Sullivan Tipton, Emily Weatherman, and Austin Turner. Definitely going to be interesting to see this shape up this year. Anybody that you guys are surprised didn't get drafted? I will say, I meant to brought this up, I meant to bring this up when Galen made his last pick. Because it was who I was debating between, and it actually wasn't the same player that you ended up going with. I was thinking Alexis Mondahano as somebody that I could have taken with my FPO wild card, but I'm pretty confident with Emily Weatherman. So
I'm looking at the list, and there are 4 friends of the show in FPO that didn't get picked, which is pretty. First of all, that's kind of awesome. But second, I think Hannah Wynn, poised to have a fantastic season after an incredible one last year, gets the team level bump this year. Fantastic. Definitely expecting good things with her. Rebecca Cox, again, hunting that first win. She had a great season. Anakin Sten, now with a full-time sponsor from a manufacturer. Love that. And of course, Sophia, poised to do amazing. Another one that if she does a fuller tour that could be interesting is Lisa Fakis. She's played 2 A tiers so far and won them both in 2026. Pretty solid start. Will we have a Fakisance here? I don't know. We'll see. But I want to give, those are the ones that jumped out at me as
over on.
I would have thought, frankly, that they might have been a little bit higher up in the standings, and they might have gone. But it's like, they were so close.
Yeah, the only other name that I'd sort of throw in that mix in FPO is Katrina Allen as well. I don't know if she's got a full touring schedule as well, but if she does, 13th last year, a bit of an off year in 2024, if memory serves. Was she pregnant also in 24, or was that 23?
I believe
I think she was. In
or
any event,
new mom, either way.
Yeah, real solid player, 2 world titles. Like, I think she very conceivably could have been drafted by any of us. But with all these players sort of just outside of that, like if we're only taking 9 FPO players, and one of the top 10 isn't playing in Kristen, like it's pretty tight. So, I'm not shocked any of those names aren't there, but I think I can see any of them having great seasons, proving us wrong.
If I could have done it differently, I definitely would have liked to have used my wild card a little sooner. Didn't know at the time that I could have done that, and kind of pushed myself into a corner, taking 3 FPO right off the bat, and not being able to really adjust on the fly with FPO being only locked into the wild card. If things had gone differently, my first 2 picks would have been the same. Paige Pierce is where I maybe would have deviated and probably would have taken Rebecca Dawn if she was still available at that point, because I think of all the wild card players that we have to take at least 1 wild card in each division. I think of any of the wild card eligible players, I think the one that is due for the biggest surge and will have the most value as a wild card pick is going to be Rebecca. I think she is going to be a force on tour next year. Will really show off what she's got. She's already had some insanely impressive performances already, getting on 2 lead cards at Pro Tour events, 2 top 4s, and she's going to be on the podium next year at some point, and will definitely jump up the leaderboard. So definitely sucks not getting her, but it is what it is. I still love my team. I think my FPO team is pretty loaded, which I'm very happy about, and MPO no slouch as well. Paul Macbeth being my first drafted MPO is crazy. Is this 2019? What year are we in? What is going on? I don't know. Anyways, any last thoughts from you fellas before we wrap her up here?
Maybe just super quickly call out some of the MPO names that didn't get drafted. Again, maybe not super surprising, just given like 3 of us at 6 picks each. Like, you got to cut it off somewhere. But No Andrew Marweed, no Simon Lizotte, no Evan Smith, no Chris Dickerson. Bradley Williams burned last year, but no Bradley Williams. I mean, if you had said 2 years ago that nobody was going to draft Eagle McMahon in a fantasy draft, you would have been looked at like you had two heads.
Yep.
And I think all of our picks made sense. I think I wouldn't be surprised if there are some players that prove us wrong on both sides. Oh, and one last thought is I checked, and it was Andrea Michaud who voted for my team last year. So shout out. Shout out. We love it.
Shout out to our fan. Singular fan. Yeah, no, that was I mean, I love doing these drafts. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I feel like last year I had a better sense of how things were going to go. And this year I definitely do not. I mean, Galen, your MPO side is so ridiculously loaded. And all it takes is Pro Tour finishes. So, I mean, if you have, 4 of your 5 guys finish in the top 5 of the Pro Tour standings, that's good. Regardless of how your FPO side does, that's going to be pretty solid. And of course, your FPO side is no slouch. I think Cadence Burge is a huge steal. That far down, going 25th overall, and how the heck did Evelina Salonen drop all the way to 24th? She won 2 majors 2 years ago, and would she have? She definitely had at least 1 win last year, right? Where's Evelina? Evelina had 2 wins. She had 2 wins, only 12 starts, 2 wins, 10 top 10s, and cashed at 11 of 12. So some huge late steals there. But we will, of course, post a graphic about this, so go check it out. It'll more than likely be on the new Disc Golf Ontario page. Go cast a vote who you think is going to win, or just leave a comment. You can actually, if you're watching on YouTube, you can obviously leave a comment. You can also leave a comment on Spotify. I'm not sure if Apple Music does. I'm sure they do. But no, they don't. Never mind. You can't on Apple Music. You can on Spotify, though. And we, of course, see those and appreciate everybody. So that is going to do it for our fantasy draft. We will be back in a second with with a little Pro Tour preview for what's upcoming. But we are going to first say goodbye to our third co-host, who has, a busy life and can't always make it for everything. But we had to have everybody here for the draft. So, Galen, it is good to see you, my friend. I thought he was going to say something else after that and not just leave me on an awkward silence, but instead he's going to hit the wave and bounce. So we will be right back on Missed Mando.
Welcome back to Missed Mando. Closing out the show now with our first Pro Tour preview of the 2026 season. We really are back into disc golf now, ladies and gentlemen. And after an offseason that felt like an eternity, the Disc Golf Pro Tour is officially back this weekend for the 2026 Supreme Flight Open. For the third straight season, the tour starts its For the third straight year, the tour starts its season in Brooksville, Florida at Olympus, the beautiful and challenging course designed by Paul Macbeth and co-owned by Macbeth. And now Toronto Blue Jay pitcher Dylan Cease. Last year, Ezra Robinson shot a course record neg 12 in the final round to cruise to a 6-stroke win over Anthony Barella for his first Elite Series victory of his career, while the FPO division went to a 3-way playoff between Ella Hansen, Holland Hanley, and Evelina Salonen, with Ella taking down the win on the second playoff hole, eagling both playoff holes that they played, which was 18 on repeat. But super clutch for Ella there. Johnny G, as somebody that's been down to Olympus, what more can you tell us about the course and the event?
Olympus is my second favorite course I've ever played, behind, of course, my beloved Maple Hill. This course it's incredible. It is so good. And they keep making improvements. If you've watched the practice rounds on YouTube, I highly recommend you do so. Check out Goose and Ezra's practice round. Really get a sense as to some of the changes that they've made. If you're familiar from it from last year, they've added wooden T-pad decks all over the place. They look fantastic. They've added a brand new hole. Hole 6 is a completely new design. It kind of looks like an island, but it doesn't play as an island. They've redesigned and moved baskets. They've moved tee pads. It looks so good. I cannot wait to watch it. I'm so glad that disc golf is back, and I love that they start at Olympus, and thank God we don't go to Las Vegas anymore for that garbage course. Yeah. Oh, it's back, baby. Let's go.
Super, super excited to have the Pro Tour season back. And yeah, I can't agree more. Now this is the third year starting the season at Olympus. It is a great kickoff to the tour season, and this course has really become something that is awesome to watch. And we are going to do some picks like we normally do for our Pro Tour events. Shawnee G, I will throw it over to you first. Take one of the divisions. You will pick first in one of the divisions. Whichever one you don't pick first in, I will pick first when we go again. But you can choose. Do you want MPO or FPO?
I'll go FPO. Why not?
Okay.
I have that open on my screen. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go a little crazy. I'm going to take Cadence Burge.
Ooh.
Yeah. She's fourth highest rated at this event. Not everybody's playing it. It's early. Yeah. The Europeans aren't here.
So highly rated.
Like, the highest ranked European that's here is Annika Sten, friend of the show. So you don't have the Evelinas, you don't have the past winner, you don't have Silva. And so, Cadence, she's got that arm to her. It's a pretty long course. Let's go. Why not? Let's go with Cadence Burge.
That is a great pick, and no like slight to Cadence or anything. I just didn't realize she was so highly rated. She's the same rating as Paige Pierce, higher rated than Val Mondahano, Ella Hansen, Kat Merge, Annika Sten, Sophia Dunica, Rebecca Cox, Katrina Allen, Hannah Wynn, like the stacked names going on and on and on. Love to see Addison Woodard in the field as well, another really good youngster up and coming. Rebecca Dawn, of course, in the field as well. I am going to go with a friend of the show and our second most recent friend of the show, as we, of course, had Trennt Michaud on tonight. But last episode, everybody knows, we had Holland Hanley on. She was in the playoff for the win last year. And I think she can get it done. So I'm going to go with Holland Hanley for my FBO pick. And on the MPO side, I will be picking first. And I mean, every year looking at these lists of players at tournaments, it's just so stacked. There are so many names that you could pick here. Shout out to Kale Labiska, who is still 1035 rated, well into playing MP40 now. That is crazy and awesome to see. But I'm not going to go quite that far down in ratings. It's going to be a little higher than that. And he has played great here over both of the last two seasons. He didn't take down the win last year, finishing second, but he did take down the win in the first iteration of this tournament, and I think he can get back to form again doing that. So I'm going to go with Mr. Anthony Barella.
A solid pick. It's wild. He is the 8th highest rated player in the event.
So crazy.
It's wild. I'm not gonna pick Gannon, which I mean, why? He'll probably win, but who knows? He hasn't won here before, but who cares? I'm going to go with Florida man, Calvin Heimberg. I think, why not? Local boy, local course. He hasn't won it. Maybe he wants to this time. So let's go Calvin Heimberg for my pick. And we have Galen's picks. He just texted them over to me, and let's see here. He's going with a friend of mine, actually, someone I actually know, Alex Berg. I've taken a lesson from him. Him and his girlfriend Lauren Butler. They are touring pros. They're just joining the pro tour for the first time this year, which is pretty sick. They're going on full tour. And so Galen messaged me. He's like, "Hey, Sean, I want to support your friend. Alex Berg is my pick in MPO." Over in FPO, he's like, "You know what? That newlywed power, everybody knows that is what wins tournaments." So he's going with Eagle McMahon's significant other, Ratana McMahon, previously Ratana Meekum, I believe. Galen's like, my money's on Ratana. She's going to crush it, absolutely smoke it. Let's go. He's betting the house on it.
Yeah, the 100% accurate Galen's absent picks. Love it. He almost shocked the world last year when one of these picks was sitting in first place. Yeah, legend, absolute legend. Lowest rated in the field and was sitting in first place after round one.
I think she got a tour team upgrade this year. I forget what team she's on, but I remember seeing her name as getting a bump up. I was like, "Let's go, Cynthia." That's cool. I'll also give a shout out to the Canadian Air Force who's playing this one. We got 3 players from Canada playing the event. Of course, we have friends of the show, Sophia Dunica and Rebecca Dawn, but we also have Quebec's Karen Martel. Absolutely fantastic. I think it's her Pro Tour debut, her first time playing a DGPT event that isn't a Q series. So well done, Karen. Absolutely crush it down there. Love that. We'll be watching.
Absolutely love to see it, and good luck to all of the Canadians down competing at the Supreme Flight Open. We will certainly be tuning in and rooting for everybody. And with that, that's going to do it for us here on Missed Mando, unless you have anything else that you would like to add. Shawnee G, this has been quite the episode. If you have stuck with us this long, kudos. I got nothing for you other than, yeah, I don't know why you're still here, but we appreciate you. A true fan sticking through. I mean, at this point, I don't even know how long this episode's going to be. It's going to be long. I will tell you that. But a huge thank you once again to Trennt for coming on. That was truly an awesome interview, and we can officially say that we have had a Olympian on this podcast, which is mental. Absolutely mental. But that is going to do it for us here on Missed Mando. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. Good luck to the Canadians down at Supreme Flight Open this weekend. Can't wait to tune in, and everybody else out in our neck of the woods playing some disc golf. Have fun out there. Stay warm. The warm weather is coming soon. Winter is not going to last forever, and we'll be back to dry courses and warm temperatures before you know it. But until the next episode, that's going to do it for us. We will see you out on the course.